Okay, here we go. All right, we're live.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, so we were just shooting the shit before the episode, and we were talking about like off-season meals and stuff like that. And I was just at the grocery store. I have steak as my meal, either 4 or 5. I can't remember which one it is. It's one of those two. It's either 5 ounces of flank steak, 93.7 beef, or I'll go like 96.4 beef, or salmon. I like to keep the proteins pretty low fat, but I found out that like Nova Lock salmon is like half a gram of fat for 2 ounces, and you have another cut of salmon. Like I think Atlantic salmon has the higher. Like the Atlantic salmon has the higher fat. So I don't know like what determines that. I don't know what those fish in the Atlantic Ocean are eating versus wherever else, and like I don't know where
Yeah, like I've
Nova.
looked at different, like just frozen salmon, like just in different stores. Some of
Mhm,
it's like 4 grams of fat per 4 ounces. Some of it's like 8. Some of it's
mhm.
like 15. Like I don't know. Like sockeye salmon, I think is pretty high in fat.
Yeah, I
But
think you got to go for the cut, like because there's like I think there's like sea bass and there's like Chilean sea bass, which is like one of them has like high
yeah,
fats.
that's the expensive one.
The Chilean,
Yeah, the Publix
the
has it
higher
every now
fat.
and then. It's like $40 a pound or something outrageous.
Oh shit, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it just brought up this dream that I had last night, dude, because I was, um, like I was like a little bit under the weather this last week, like a head cold, weird little head cold, like started sneezing a little bit, and then like waking up like my nose is dry, I gotta blow my nose, and then like a little cough here and there, but nothing that's like too debilitating. But I was like getting my rest too,
Hmm.
and then I got into like watching a few TV shows which are really good. I'll give recommendations right now, and if anybody has any recommendations for TV shows that are good, comment below. One of them was Silo, which I watched the whole first season of that. It's good, dude. It's about like this
Yeah, we were talking about that.
yeah, like 150 years in the future, like they live underground. There's like, there's order and stuff to it. Like it's organized, and they kind of start to catch like a few people kind of like catch on like, is it actually okay outside? Is it bad outside? Like, is there some kind of power like grab that these people are trying to do? Like, I don't know, something like that. But it was good. I watched the whole first season of that. And then Todd at Advanced Fit recommended me the show called From, which is
Okay.
really good, dude. It's about like this it's like it's kind of like sci-fi, I think. Like I would say Silo's kind of like sci-fi too because it's like in the future or whenever it's supposed to be. Or like an alternate universe, right? And so in the show From though, it sort of is like sci-fi, like horror thriller kind of. Basically, like these people like are on a road trip. Um, they pass through like this town, and then they like it's kind of this weird looking town. They're like, what's going on here? Like, all right, let's keep driving through. They drive through the town. And then next thing you know, they're driving back through that same town. They're like, all right, wait, did we like miss, the exit? Did we like, why are we? And they do this a few times. Like, why are we going in circles? And then like, there's like a tree in the road. And then they get into like a car accident. Anyways, like they're now like stuck in this place that like they're in this like pocket of the universe that like once you're in it, like you can't really like leave it, right?
Okay.
There's like you're gonna wind up where you started pretty much. Um, and like at night, like when the sun goes down, like these like creatures come out that look like humans, and they'll come like knock on the door and like convince you to open up the window to let them in. And like if you let them in, they fucking like rip you to shreds, basically.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, dude, it's been really good. I've been watching that.
I'll have to check that out. So
What'd you say?
it's called.
Yeah, yeah, it's on dude, there's so many fucking like streaming services now. I have a Fire Stick that has everything on it.
Yeah, same.
It's jailbroken.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like gonna get me fucking. Well, it's not like I'm monetizing these anyways, but
Now,
like hypothetically, it has everything on it.
personal use.
And but yeah, it's on MGM Plus, which like
Okay.
I've never even fucking heard of. But and
I
I don't
haven't
know
either.
how Todd found this show, but it's really good.
I'll check that
But
out.
yeah, check it out sometime. You could probably find it online, like if you look up like there's ways to find shows or movies online without having to like
Oh yeah,
pay for a streaming service because you're paying if you wind up getting all of them, you'll probably pay like $200-300 a month
it's a
to
lot.
watch one
Each
show on
one
here,
is
one
like
on
probably
there.
$10 to $15 for each one.
Yeah. Um. Here, wait. Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Here, I'm just turning this out. Okay, that's
Okay.
better. So, anyways, yeah. Back to my dream. Like we were talking about fish, and I had this dream because I passed the way I've been watching this show is like I've been like eating a meal and then like now we're starting to kind of push the food a little bit so the carbs are a little bit higher and lay down on the couch, eat the meal, and then like 10 minutes in I'm like passing out.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I rewind it. So I've had like weird dreams, but I had this dream the other night that like went to this like Italian restaurant that like happened to have sushi. And I was like, sushi's pretty clean. Like I can eat sushi.
Yeah.
Like just no avocado, like give me, tuna and whatever, like lean salmon. And I'll eat that. And then I'm eating the fucking sushi and I pull out like 5 or 6 little fish bones out of my mouth eating this sushi. And this was my dream. Like I don't know. It sucked.
That's funny.
Have you ever had fish and like had like you fucking bite down on something? You're like, oh, what the fuck was that? Like
All the time, like the tilapia at Publix,
yeah.
all the time there's little bones in it.
Really?
Yeah, constantly, dude. Every fillet, there's at least one in there.
Oh fuck, dude.
So when you're eating it, you kind of have to like
You gotta be careful.
chew really like light because if you bite down on that, it's like fuck up your
That's like,
tooth.
yeah, dude. That's like on my list of things I hate. Like that's
Yeah.
like that's really high up there.
The chicken tenderloins too always have at least a couple little bones in them.
I don't buy chicken tenderloins because I think that happened to me one time and I've never bought them since.
Yeah. What do you do? The chicken breast?
Just by the breast, yeah.
Okay.
But I'll cut it out and I'll clean it up. And
Mhm.
like just I'm rinsing the chicken breast and feeling and holding the chicken breast. Every once in a while, yeah, you'll like feel something that's a little cartilage or something like that. One time, dude, my girl made me a meal, like my ex, and dude, there was like a whole fucking chicken bone in this fucking
Oh my God.
meal. It was
Are you
like a
serious?
whole piece of the chicken, like rib or something. I don't fucking know. And I'm like, how'd that get in my food? Like, I'm not even gonna eat the fucking meal anymore. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not just pulling the bone out. I'm just fucking done. Like, I called it
that's
quits.
insane.
Yeah. The codfish, I like maybe had it once, like to where like one time I got like a little baby bone, and I was like,
Mhm.
fuck, man, like, And
What's your
after
favorite
that,
fish that you eat? Your favorite whitefish?
I like cod. Cod's
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, I mean that's really I've just gone with cod and tilapia though. Like I haven't um really ventured out past there.
Have you ever had orange roughy?
No, but I've seen it in the grocery store. I've heard some people like get digestive issues with it. Like
Yeah,
they're on
like
the
if you eat
toilet.
too much of it, like the fat is like non-digestible, so it literally
Oh,
like just goes right through you.
really?
So that can kind of mess you up. But it's like super high in, I think, iron too. But like
Mhm.
taste-wise, it's like the best fish out there. I feel like if
Tastes
you watch
good.
like Jay Cutler's videos back in the day, he would do like a ton of orange roughy.
Do you do fish in the off season?
I would, but my girl hates when I cook it inside because it smells. So I just
Yeah,
save it for breath.
yeah, dude. I mean, my coach has fish on my plan, but like, I don't, I don't know. I could
I
do
really like
codfish.
fish. I really like fish.
It's light. It's pretty easy to, it's super lean. Um, I could do the codfish, but
And if it's real like kind of light and flaky, like even if you're like super full, you can still get it down. You know what I mean? Just because of the
yeah,
consistency.
yeah. Have you ever heard like I don't know if this like how true this is, but like fish thins the skin.
Yeah, Jay Cutler used to say that back in the day.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think I've heard actually like some like kind of like science behind it because there's not as much collagen.
yeah.
in fish.
I think too, like if you have someone eating, let's say, just chicken breast,
Yeah.
and they switch over to all fish, the fish is a little bit less fat too. So
Oh yeah.
combine that with fish having less collagen and just lighter fat, I think you're
Hmm.
definitely going to get leaner. So there would be like a thinning of the skin, visual
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's somewhat genetic, but like, yeah, when my fats, like on my first prep, like I got that thin skin where like you see through the skin. But I think my skin like kind of is like that even now. Like I never
Mhm.
had that baby fat layer on my body. I don't
Yeah,
think you know anyone like that like
that
or
has
you
the baby fat, or is like just kind of super skinless.
yeah either has the baby fat or like who would be someone in the pros right now that kind of still has the baby fat like that has
Lionel
like a few.
Bayeki. Usually, I feel like it's kind of black guys, like Lionel Bayeki, Brandon
Uh-huh.
Curry, back in the day, Orville Burke, like guys
Yeah.
that tend to have like super dark skin. Akeem Williams tend to
Sometimes
always
it's
have
just like a
like,
thicker skin.
yeah, and I don't know
Yeah.
if like the dark skin kind of highlights that more, but
Uh-huh.
it tends to be kind of like the really dark skinned black guys, because like most of the white guys like Jay Cutler, Dennis Wolf,
Get
when
like
they're like,
ghost white, like
yeah,
see-through. Yeah.
and they look like super grainy too.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people have that graininess that's I mean, usually when you have that thin skin, you're gonna have that graininess like
Yeah.
coming right out as well. Would you say Regan Grimes has that kind of
That,
babyish?
yeah, that's a good example. I was trying to think of white guys that had it. He would be
Uh-huh.
one of them, because he's never like, he's been lean and separated, but his skin looks like slippery. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like sandpaper dry.
Yeah.
Did you see his update pics he posted?
Um, not lately.
He's like put on a ton of size, but he still looks like he's kind of
I saw him
behind.
at the Olympia a few years ago, and like it's interesting to see it in person, man, because like you see them on Instagram and you're like, dude, this dude's huge. Um, I remember like this was Guy Sistorino's last Olympia actually, and Dexter Jackson's last Olympia. I think it was 2021
That you went to?
or 2020 or maybe 2019. I can't remember. Yeah, I went to it though, and no, it was 2021. Yeah, and I remember seeing, yeah, like Regan came out and he yeah, like he just wasn't as big as the other guys. And then who I thought was really big, like I thought Juan Morel was gonna be like really big.
Yeah.
He looked like small, like actually
That was the
small.
year he was like, I saw update pics from him at like 10 weeks out, and I was like, is he on TRT? Like, is he completely off cycle? But he
Yeah.
looks like
Well, I think he's
completely
retired
downside.
now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like 2015, I think
He was
when he
winning
won the New
shows and
York
stuff.
Pro, he
Yeah.
was fucking full blown, like
Hmm.
huge.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of other good stuff going on though. Like, have you ever had those My Cookie Dealer cookies?
I have. I didn't care for him.
No, dude, they're
No,
crazy.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah. No, I
I
still
like
like get
just
their
the old
emails.
school, like shitty, regular cookie. It was like too much
It's
extra
almost
sugar.
too much. It's like if you
Yeah,
take something like a Reese's and like throw a cookie in it and then an Oreo on top and then M&Ms, it's like it
yeah.
is almost too much, you know? It's like you need to like some things are meant to be just left alone, I guess, you know?
It was funny. Like after nationals, like I had bought some of them, and
Uh-huh.
I was like eating
Were
it.
they selling them backstage or something?
Now I bought them like before, like I ordered them
Okay.
online, and I
Yeah.
was eating one. I was like, I don't really like care for this that much. And my girl had these like shitty keto cookies, just she got from Publix, like sitting on the counter. I was just, oh, I'm gonna just try some of these, and it was like significantly better than the My Cookie Dealer. So I would just start eating those. I
Yeah,
like
sometimes
wasted all
just
this
simple
money on these
things like
cookies, but yeah, I didn't care for them.
I don't know. I think sometimes like simplicity is like it is like it has its own value and flavor of its own um I like the meal I just made. I made steak, rice, and I just had like some salad mix from Publix, and dude, it was perfect, man.
Yeah,
Like just a good combo of everything, you know. Um chicken, rice, and I like to have chicken and rice. My pre-workout meal with it has a banana in it too. Easy,
Do
dude.
you mix all
Yeah.
that together?
Yeah, like I'll like chop the banana up in a little bit. And what I like to actually do is freeze the banana, but I've just been lazy, so I haven't peeled the bananas to freeze them.
Okay.
Then you have like, warm chicken and rice and the frozen banana. It just is a really good combo. And then if
That
you
sounds
make the
good.
chicken a little spicy or something, the banana like evens it out.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the simple stuff. I mean,
Well, like we were just
really.
talking about like sushi. If you have like
Mhm.
this wild ass, super crazy combination sushi, sometimes it's not as good as just like a regular tuna roll, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I like, like the tempura rolls and like the crunchy stuff and all that and like the sauces and stuff, but like,
Do you really?
man, sometimes it can get a little bit too much because you're like, I know I can't eat like much of this like before my
Yeah.
stomach is really just say like, but like, dude, I can eat 40, 50 pieces of like little tuna rolls or like,
Yeah.
salmon rolls easy and feel fine the next day, not wake up like, what the fuck did I eat? Like,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Have you ever we're gonna talk today, guys, about like off season stuff. 'Cause that's like kind of the phase I'm in. That's where Jimmy's at too. And so we'll get into some stuff about, cycles and stuff like that. But first I want to talk about is food. So which we kind of already started to talk about already. But I'm gonna ask you, have you ever done like a dirty bulk? Like where you're
Yeah.
and we kind of talked about this in the last episode. You said you got like the Hungry Man dinners or
Yeah.
something, and I
That
did the
was just, I
chicken
was
pot
just kind of
pies.
depressed at the time and just being lazy, like just didn't give a fuck. But like
Mm-hmm.
when I first bulked, like my first ever bulk, I just
Yeah,
thought, okay, you just got to eat a lot. So I would
yeah,
have like, you know, supermarket subs and
like Publix chicken tender sub.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'd have like Burger King and then I'd have a protein shake with it. I'd have like, before I would go out to dinner, I would have like a weight gainer shake. And then I would go to dinner and get some like high calorie shit. So
oh
it was
yeah,
just like, I ended up going from like 140 something to like over 200 pounds. And it was 85% fat. Like I looked absolutely horrible. But I was just like, all right, you got to eat big to get big. Let's just, anything
yeah,
we can eat, let's eat it.
yeah, man. I mean, like there was actually a like this after my first show, like I was like motivated, to get bigger and like put on size. Um, and I didn't like work. I didn't ever work with a coach in the off season. Have you always worked with a coach in the off season?
No, this is the first one.
Yeah. So I mean, like I've heard people not working with a coach during the off season, but that's where I made all my progress. Like now, but
Yeah.
like this was early on, and I remember eating like Ben and Jerry's like all the time, and
Would you have a protein shake with it at least?
no, I would just eat the Ben and Jerry's like, and just like wonder why. Like I don't know. I knew like yeah, you had to push food and eat a lot of food, but like I didn't understand like what food. And then I actually so I mean the dirty bulking like it's mostly gonna get you fat like
Yeah.
and you'll be so sick of food like faster than you would with the clean food. Um Now like later on in your off seasons, like you realize that didn't work because 85% of that was fat, right? So
Yeah.
then how did you kind of clean that up and figure out, okay, I need to actually eat this, and this? Like,
So that's when I actually had like structured meals. So I would do like just kind of macro based stuff. So let's
yeah.
say I had, 50 grams of carbs, 50 protein, and 10 fat. I would
Mm-hmm.
use clean food. So I would use like rice, potato,
Mm-hmm.
oatmeal, and then I would pick like a protein source, turkey, chicken, fish, and I would just kind of plug and play different
Mm-hmm.
foods like to hit macros. And then I would kind of track my weight. If I gained more than like a pound a week, I would pull it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was kind of like self-monitoring, but even looking back, like compared to like what Justin has me doing, like I was making like different mistakes. Like I would try to push my weight up rather than push food up, if that makes sense. So I was
Mm-hmm.
just looking for like a change on the scale rather than okay, if I add 100 calories and my weight stays the same, that's good. My metabolism is adapting. Where before I would be like, oh shit, I didn't gain weight. Let's throw an extra 500 calories a day in. I was just looking for gaining on the scale rather than actual positive changes in my physique.
Mm-hmm.
So I make a ton of mistakes. Like, I don't think I'll ever, as long as I'm bodybuilding, I don't think I'll ever not work with a coach. Just the difference working with Justin is just night and day from what I was doing on my own previously.
Yeah. So now you're, I mean, you still have macros, like set macros, right? Like they're like per meal.
It's pretty similar. Like Justin has a food list for proteins, fats, carbs, and then I have 6 meals a day plus an Intra shake, and then 3 different diets for rest day, training day, and then high carb training days.
Mm-hmm. Was that like tough for you to get on board with, like the 3 different diets at first, or like was that tough to make? I mean, I think
he could tell me to eat dirt, and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!"
This you were just motivated and ready coming off that show.
Yeah.
And he gave you the 5 high days, like right out of the show, right?
Yeah, 5 high days with a cheat meal every night, like for the first 5 days.
I feel like that's how you should kind of kick things off. Like I feel like trying to all right, we're gonna increase 250 calories this week.
Yeah,
like your body's just insane. Like, what do you mean? I already ate like 250 calories 6 times already today. Like.
Yeah. And it makes
like
sense
extra calories that I wasn't supposed to eat.
You're so insulin sensitive post show, you might as well get all those cravings out when you're at your leanest, rather than kind of tiptoe back into a diet. And then let's say you mentally break at some point, like 4 weeks in, you're going to do a lot more damage than if you just had those cheat meals right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you kind of can get it out of your system a little bit better and it's less damaging. And then like you're not like by the time the off season's really like you're in the thick of the off season, you're not like, I need a cheat meal at this point. Like you're like, I don't care about a cheat meal at this point now. Like, I got another 2 meals to eat tonight. Like,
I get 3 cheat meals a week and I take 1.
Yeah. What do you do for it?
I usually take my girlfriend out for dinner, just like a normal dinner. Like if we go to Mexican, I'll get like fajitas. Or if we go to Greek, I'll get like kebabs and some pita bread. Just nothing really wild.
Oh, that's cool. Where do you go get Greek food around here?
It's in Brandon. What's it called? Acropolis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really good.
Cool. Yeah, I've never been there, but I've seen them, everywhere. You can get kebabs there, huh? And like pita.
Yeah, and they give you like a shit ton of like chicken too. Like it's like a lot of meat on the kebabs.
Is it breast or is it thighs?
Chicken breast, yeah. Like it's probably actually, I mean, I get it with like lemon potatoes. So it's literally just baked potatoes, chicken, and like, cut up peppers. It's like the whole meal is probably like 10 grams of fat, but it's like a ton of protein, probably like 12 ounces of chicken, I would imagine they give you.
Wow, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I love kind of like.
That's a good idea, dude. Actually, I didn't think about Greek food like that.
Yeah.
What does your girl get?
She'll get the pork kebabs. So they have steak, pork, and then chicken.
That's pretty easy though, dude. I mean, that's pretty simple foods right there. And then like,
it's like
I know
clean,
like Greek
really
food, they
good.
have like, do they do hummus like Greek food?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they do like it's kind of Mediterranean like that, right? They do like fish, like entrees and stuff.
Yeah, the fish they have, it's like whole fish.
It's like a whole fish on the plate.
Yeah, the entire fish they bring out.
You ever eat that?
No, I've been curious about it though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you put a whole entire fish like on my fucking plate, like
the presentation is kind of odd.
I had too many like little. I had a nightmare about having bones in my from eating sushi. Like, there's not gonna be bones from eating sushi.
Sushi is another cheat meal we'll go to. We'll go to like. Do you ever go to Cozy?
Yeah, I like Cozy or Cozy.
Yeah.
Which one?
I go to the one in. I actually have a funny story about that. We go to the one in Brandon.
The one in Brandon is it by the Publix there?
Yeah.
They renamed
it's like right next door.
Yeah, they renamed it.
Yeah, they did. What's it called?
It's I don't know what the name is, but I looked it up because I was like, all right, what where's all you can eat sushi spots, or is there a Koizi in Brandon? And it says it's under like new ownership that they
Same
changed
menu
the
though.
name. They said
We've been
stay
there since
away.
they switched.
Yeah, they said stay away. Like some of the
Really?
reviews said stay. I feel like people want to like say shit about like all you can eat spots or like
Oh yeah.
like I mean you look up McDonald's, it's like oh this place McDonald's fucking sucks. Like no, that McDonald's is like every other McDonald's. Like
Yeah.
like it's probably not. It's probably you just got pissed off.
There's another really good one. It's still in Brandon. It's like where the Chuck E. Cheese used to be. It's an all-you-can-eat place that just opened up. It's something like King's Buffet.
Over there, by
Yeah,
the Crunch.
yeah, it's really good, dude. Like my girlfriend didn't like it. She said the floors were too dirty, but the food was insane.
That was like some of the reviews. Like it said, like
Was it
stay
really?
away. Their floors are dirty.
Oh,
Like
that's so funny.
I mean, I don't know. Like
I was like, I
yeah,
don't
there's
give a
probably
shit
a
as long
lot
as
of
the food
people in
looks
and out of
clean.
there. Yeah. I mean, I was just over at Publix and it looked like people were coming and going from that spot. So
We
I'll have to
went there
try it
like
sometime.
maybe a month ago. We tried to go, and we
Yeah.
walked in, and it was like a 40-minute wait. We were like, we're not going to wait 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then they're getting business. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, my cheat meal right now is either like a burger and fries, sushi, or just something clean, like something like if I like I could probably go do Greek food or um. I mean, even if I wanted to like cook myself something, like if I wanted to cook myself pancakes and like
Yeah.
eggs, I could probably do that. Because I like at least the good thing about that, about cooking your own food, your own cheat meal, is that like you can know what the macros are. Like, all
Oh
right, I
yeah.
want 120 carbs here. I want 150 carbs. Like, how much pancakes mix is that? Okay, that's this. I want some berries in it. I want some chocolate chips or something. Okay, I'm gonna use actual honey on it. Boom.
Could probably make like a really good burger, and it would be like super lean too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've done okay with that. I like sometimes I've burnt the fuck out of the burger, and I was just like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like there's grills in my neighborhood, but I'm not going down there to really grill up like 2 burger patties.
No, the community grills are tough for like one or two things.
Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, I mean, like yeah, the junk meals and stuff like that, like now like a dirty cheat meal would be like the pint of Ben and Jerry's or like
Yeah.
um it
Pizza.
could yeah like a whole pizza or even like a my cookie dealer.
Yeah.
Um, those things are like 1,000 calories,
And that
dude.
used to be my kind of cheat meals. Like I used to always have dirty cheat meals. Like
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
was I don't know what it was. I would treat cheat meals like, all right, I only get one a week, so I'm
a
gonna
day off. Yeah,
make it worth it. Whereas now, since I have so many, I'm like, I'm just gonna have something reasonable. If I want something else, another day I'll have it. You know?
yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like I was saying earlier about like simple foods, like because like like something simple, but like Chipotle, I would probably consider that a pretty clean cheat.
I would too.
Whether or not you get out the guac or something like that, like or you get chicken or steak, like you know, like how high fat, how high fat is it? Like I mean, they're cooking in oil and stuff like that, so there's already
Yeah.
going to be some fat content there. Like the good thing about Five Guys, like their burgers, they cook them in like peanut oil, which is like not as inflammatory as like a canola oil or like a whatever. I don't know what else they use, like but
Lard.
or like yeah or whatever. But so that's I've had that or sushi. Those have been my go-to, but I'm gonna have to definitely do like some Greek food sometime.
That's really good.
Yeah, I used to slam protein bars on a bulk too. I
Really,
think I did it
what
for like a
kind?
week, and then I was on the toilet. I was like, this ain't gonna work.
I
The
actually
big
digest the Quest
100s.
bar. It's pretty good.
Which one?
The Quest bars, I get the birthday cake occasionally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually like those. They
yeah,
digest well too.
yeah. I think one of them is probably fine.
You were
You
doing
ever
a bunch.
you ever have the big 100 bar?
No, is that metrics?
Dude, it's good. Yeah, it's by metrics.
Okay.
It's a good. It tastes really good. I mean, it's like it is pretty good. Or like you ever have like a Larry? Well, Larry and Lenny's cookies they're okay.
Yeah, I like those.
they're actually not too bad. It's like 55 carbs, like 14 fat, and then like 16 protein. So it's not terrible. Like they used to have like something. They used to use like sugar alcohol in it, which would like just I'd be on the toilet eating those. But the Metrics bars, they taste really good, but they have a lot of sugar alcohol in them.
Okay.
And like the other thing with like the dirty food, so like so now you'll eat like say Greek or sushi or your burger, or something like that, or something clean, um, and then pretty much back to the regular plan, next day.
Yeah.
But you're like deep in the off season right now. I mean, do you have and you guys haven't pulled back at all? Like haven't had to like go into like a mini cut or like a health phase?
After the initial rebound, we pulled back for maybe 4 weeks or so.
Yeah.
We kind of like, chilled out a little bit, and then we started bumping food right back up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he's probably consistently bumped my food at least on average every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But my weights either stayed the same or dropped, even with continually adding food. So my metabolism is just like he bumped my food up Thursday, and he's like, this is the most we're going to do. He's like, any more, you could lead to like some distension. He said, so if we have to bump it up more, we'll do like liquid carbs or something like that for calories. But this is the most solid food he wants me to eat.
Yeah, actually, dude. Like, well, in my last off season, I don't know if my coach was worried about distension or anything like that, but yeah, we did some juice and I mean, I was pushing a lot of food in my last off season to where like I would have at first it was like one Rice Krispie treat pre-workout, and then it was like two Rice Krispie treats pre-workout every time. So I was getting to eat Rice Krispie treats every single day before the gym.
Yeah.
But like when those carbs like go up like that and like your body's actually using them, like you fucking feel it. Like you feel strong, you feel full. And then my breakfast was like 6 ounces of apple juice, 75 grams of blueberries, a bagel with like however much honey I pretty much wanted on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I measured it. And then it would be like either I would just put whey protein in the shake. I love that breakfast. It was easy. So it was like 50 carbs, and then like another 20, 30 carbs from like the jam or the honey.
Yeah.
So it was about 100 carbs to start the day. And then I think I had almond butter on that too.
That's a big meal.
Yeah.
I love fruit. Fruit tastes like almost like a cheat, like something you shouldn't be having.
Yeah. Do you put fruit in your diet right now? Like, I mean, you have the pineapple, you said?
Just on my high days. So like 50% of the carbs is like from rice or potato, and then 50% he said can come from sugary sources. So I just use fruit juice, or honey. Sometimes I do like a bagel or two a day, but mostly fruit and fruit juices.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the episodes. Is that like if your like appetite is stalling, like pull back the fats and push the carbs up and see what happens. And like, dude, like, I mean, once I'm like really deep in the off season, like I'm sitting there fucking like till 1, 2 in the morning, sometimes spooning down food.
Yeah.
To where like you're gonna eat so much food in the off season, and you want to get your body to that spot to where like you are pushing the food, and to where like you don't really want a cheat meal. And like to where your diet is so high calorie that you almost have to throw in some of these like Rice Krispie treats or like juice.
Yeah.
These simple carbs just to be able to hit the totals for the day.
If you're really eating enough food in your off season, I can't see how you would have like really bad cravings for like cheat meals. Like you can't be eating enough if you are, or you have some kind of freak metabolism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever watched Juan Morel's like chasing 20,000
20,000, yeah.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. But like if you watch the video, he's eating a lot of carbs. Like he'll like knocked down like 2 or 3 boxes of cereal for breakfast and then like had a cookie. Like I feel like if your carbs are so high, like the fats can't, it's almost like a ratio. It's like if your carbs are just through the roof and your body can also pull and like use those carbs, those fats are going to run through you quicker. So
Yeah.
like for a bigger guy, for like you could probably tolerate 100 grams of fat a day.
Yeah, if I had to, I think I could.
What are you at right now? Like on a medium day? How
Medium
much
day
added fat per meal?
is 40. Rest day is 80, I think, on my rest day.
Yeah.
And then high day is 0.
Well, yeah, 0 added fat. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like you could probably push between like 60 and probably 80 on a regular basis and be fine. Like if you
I
were to
think
just
so.
average that out, 60 or well, 40 and 80, average would probably be about 60, or somewhere right in the middle there. And that'd probably be reasonable, but like for guys that are like on the smaller side, unless you're trying to pack on weight, like do you think there's any benefit going back to like the dirty bulk and kind of like going back to like, I mean, you were 140 pounds, you said, right?
Yeah.
And you shot up to what, 180, 200?
I was 200, but like we said, it was a bad 200.
Do you think that was necessary though? Like, because look, guys, you can't turn fat into muscle. Like, there's no way of turning fat into a muscle cell. It doesn't change. It doesn't like shape shift and doesn't do that.
Yeah, let's
But do you
say
feel like there was any benefit to putting on like all that water and like just body weight?
So I would say maybe I probably put on maybe 15 pounds of muscle out of that 60 pounds. If I wasn't aggressive, maybe I would have put on 10 pounds of muscle, but I wouldn't have had to diet as long, after the bulk. So I did probably put on more muscle since I was so aggressive, but it was also a lot more dieting to get all the excess body fat off.
Yeah. I mean, I did that initially because I was pretty light. Like I was like 125, 130. And then like I got to like 135 and then I got to like 150 and then I got from like 150 to 170, pushing like food like eating like fucking Pop-Tarts. There was actually one time, I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast or not yet, but there was one time like I had like, I don't know how, I was like 200 carbs left in the day, like 250 carbs somehow. The day got ahead of me. And I was eating like 550 per day. And I had like 110 grams of fat, and my protein was like 180, 200 or something like that. And it's like 1, 2 in the morning. And like, dude, I'm not one to fucking just like quit and like just like throw in the towel. I'll just do it tomorrow. Like if you have that mentality, like you're not gonna last very long.
No.
You need to be ashamed of yourself if you fucking quit like that.
Yeah.
Like so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this in. And I like calculated out the macros. I was like, okay, I need like 4 Pop-Tarts. So like 4 individual pastries.
Okay.
Which was like 140 carbs there. And then I needed like a scoop of the mass gainer, which was like, it was like 1,340 calories. So for like 2 scoops. So 1 scoop, it was like 134 carbs there.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then I needed like 50, 60 grams of protein. And then I needed like another 30 grams of fat. So I blended like walnuts in it and I threw another scoop of protein in it. And like I eat all this and I'm like, all right, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I go to bed and I'm fucking laying there like I'm so fucking full right now. Like I'm either gonna fucking die or I'm gonna fall asleep and everything's gonna be fine. And I'll digest it as I sleep.
You
And then
fall
like
asleep?
a minute or two goes by and I'm like, I need to like make some room. So I go sit on the toilet. Thinking I'm just gonna like, if I take a shit, if I take a piss, like, I'll be clear a little space out and I'll be, we won the day. Like we got all the food.
Yeah.
And then I just like sit on the toilet and then like, I'm like, go to like almost push to pee or to shit or whatever. Next thing I know, I fucking threw up all over my bathroom.
Oh God.
all over the tub, dude. This is disgusting. But then like I was like, oh fuck, like, lost all my food. Then I look up like, should I like eat the rest? Like, should I try to like
make it again?
And everyone, it was on like bodybuilding.com. And I guess this had happened to like other people too. Like to where they had thrown up after trying to force as much food as they could. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, just save it. Tomorrow's another day. Like, and tomorrow is another day, you know. But like, I also have like the mentality of like, if I'm gonna do what I can do today, you know. Like, I'm not just gonna like throw in the towel today, you know.
I mean, it's always like I have that same mentality. Like if I've fallen asleep like kind of regularly. It happens, unfortunately. I lay down like after work or after I get home from the gym, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna lay down for like an hour or so, and then I wake up at like 3 a.m. and I've got 2 meals left in the day.
Yep.
So I get up, I make a meal, and then let's say I wake up for work at like 8:30. I'll eat my meal at 3 a.m. and then I'll set my alarm for 5 a.m. and I'll get that extra meal in, and then I'll go back to sleep. Yeah. Like
Then
I'll set alarms if I'm
meal 1 at
behind.
8.
Yeah, then I'll eat my breakfast at 8. Like,
Yeah.
because if I say, okay, I'm not going to have this meal, I'll just push it off till tomorrow. I'll have an extra meal tomorrow. Inevitably, something's going to happen. I might get backed up, and then I might miss it again. So I'm just like in this constant state of trying to make it up.
Chasing. Yeah. And then you're stressing and stuff like that too. Like, you know, and that's not good.
No.
Yeah.
Then it fucks up your digestion because your cortisol's high, you're stressing out. It's just it's just a bad time.
Yeah, I think if you're stressing, bro, like your digestion just like go. And well, the other thing is if you don't sleep good, like your digestion won't work the way it's supposed to.
Oh yeah.
But when you're pushing food, like you're falling asleep sometimes, you know. Yeah, man. And I was just gonna say like the thing is like you're pushing food about every 2.5, 3 hours. Like, you know, it's hard. Like one tip that I always tried to follow was like meal 3 by 3 p.m. So like
that's good.
You know, if I was eating meal 1 at 8, meal 2 at 11, like no later than 3 p.m. Like, can I be eating meal 3? You know, and then I'm on track. And then versus like, oh, I have 6 meals to eat today. Like, I got all day, or like, you know, I got 6 meals to eat. Like, how the fuck am I going to eat 6 times today? Like, no, you just got to eat meal 1, and you eat meal 2, and then meal 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. You know.
Have you ever like slept in real late, or like for whatever reason just not gotten up, and then you wake up at like 12 or 1 and you're like, fuck, I got to get 6 meals in and then get up for work tomorrow?
Yeah, probably. I can't recall like when
it's like the worst feeling in the world, because the whole day you're just chasing, trying to get these meals in before you go to bed.
The other thing too with like having a coach in the off season is like, I mean, does Justin ask you like your diet adherence for the week?
Yeah.
Like how well did you stick to the plan? So like that's the other thing. It's like you don't want to miss on that check-in form. Like you don't want to be like, well, and this did happen to me early on working with my coach, and like this happens with guys that like you know sign up to start working with me. Is they're like, oh well, I missed this meal and that meal, and then like, you know, and that might just be getting used to the diet and like getting used to eating 6 meals a day, or getting used to eating this amount of food. Which like the first week or 2, like is no big deal. But if it's like 3 or 4 weeks and you're still missing meals, like now you're 4 weeks behind, you know, and like everyone can do it because everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. I mean, when you worked at LA Fitness, I'm sure they didn't have a problem with you like going to eat a meal.
No, they were good with that. I would sit at my desk and eat the meal.
I've always like looked for jobs that I could eat at.
Oh, same.
Every job I had. I mean, I would be able to like get some kind of meal in, you know. But if I didn't, like I was a golf caddy before, and like, you know, you're on the golf course for 4 hours, so like sometimes in between, like the first part of the course and the second part, I would go and eat like a chicken and rice meal really quick, and then get back on the course, or a shake or whatever it was. But like honestly, you know, you're in an office 8 hours a day. Like, you know, you can't be going on the microwave every 2-3 hours. Like, I mean, you're gonna have to have a shake or something like that. And like, I think people like really don't give a shit. Like, if you can eat and work, like you're fine. Like, just go slam a shake, or just go to the bathroom real quick with a Tupperware container and spoon it down.
I was just gonna say that, like people that say they can't get their meals in at work, like you can go to the bathroom and eat. Like they
Yeah.
can't stop you from going to the bathroom at work.
Uh-huh.
You know, just bring your Tupperware in there and eat it real quick and go back to work.
It's kind of like nasty to probably eat in the fucking bathroom, but
I would
like
do it if I had to, though.
if I had to, I would too. I remember when I worked for Crunch, like they were pretty good about it too. Like I could pretty much go eat a meal whenever I wanted. But I also just made that precedent myself. Like I just assumed I gotta go eat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the back because I know it's gonna take me 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
if something happens within 5 minutes and I'm not here for it, and you can't handle it, what the fuck, you know?
It's not like you're having an hour, you're sitting down
Yeah.
with like this big meal and you got your fork and knife out and you're just
Yeah,
literally like
no.
slamming this spoon, this
People
chicken
think
and rice thing.
dude, I don't know if you're someone who eats fast, but I eat pretty fast. Um, but when I initially tell people okay, how many meals do you eat a day right now? They're um, one. Usually dinner, and sometimes I'll
Yeah.
have for breakfast. Oh, and then I'll have a snack here, and then maybe I'll have a snack. Well, you just had 4 meals,
Yeah.
you could probably do 5, because those snacks are kind of the size of the meal you'd probably be eating,
Mhm.
Um, the other thing is some people think a meal is what you're getting at a cheesecake factory or you know, a Chipotle bowl. Like a Chipotle bowl is
Yeah.
a pretty big portion,
Yeah.
for most people. For a bodybuilder, that's a pretty standard portion. They're gonna eat
Yeah.
that within 5 minutes, but your average person, they might sit there for 15 minutes to eat that.
Yeah.
And they see you take out this meal. They're like, that has to take you 25 minutes to eat. No, this will be done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes in the microwave, and then I will sit here for 5, and it'll be 7 minutes by the time I'm done.
Yeah. I used to work, like when I was real young, I worked at Gold's Gym as a personal trainer.
Uh-huh.
And the way the appointments were structured, it would be like a 50-minute personal training appointment. So let's say it was like 9 a.m. to 9:50. So I would have 10 minutes between every appointment. So that's when I would just slam my meal. No matter how big it was, I had 10 minutes to get it down. And I would always get it down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not good to eat fast. You should
Yeah.
chew your food, but when you're eating to sometimes you're eating simple foods. You're not eating a piece of corn on the cob,
Yeah.
and you're cutting up a steak. You're eating baby cream of rice, some protein powder and some almond butter and a banana, and you're just spooning this down
Yeah.
real quick. Or you're eating shredded chicken and rice or ground turkey and rice. That's stuff that's already pretty much chewed to some degree,
And I think people don't understand the significance of missing a meal.
Mhm.
Like, let's say, for example, you miss one meal every day for a week. That's like a full day's worth of food. Like, if you can imagine, not eating for one entire day, what your
Yeah, if
physique
it's
will look like the
400
next day,
calories, yeah, if it's 400 calories times
it's
7, that's
huge.
2,800 calories for the week.
You're gonna look like a completely different person.
Mhm.
Like, if you're consistently missing a meal.
Yeah, a
You know?
pound is a pound in a surplus is 3,500 calories, right? Over
Yeah.
your maintenance. So if you're at you're missing 4, let's just call it 500 calorie meal, you're not gaining a pound that week. Doesn't mean you're getting a pound of muscle, but
Yeah.
some of that's going to be muscle,
Hmm.
So you're missing I mean, that's 20% of your gains right there.
And also, like,
It always would fuck with me because I'm thinking about the next day. I'm thinking I
yeah.
got legs tomorrow. I can't miss a meal today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I have to not that I was even focused last off season on chasing or beating a logbook, but I knew what I was lifting in the gym, and if I was gonna perform less, I would know, but I just
100%.
didn't let that happen.
And like you said, if you are trying to beat the logbook, let's say you have to get one extra rep on squats. How good are you going to perform if you miss an entire meal like the day before? You know what I mean? Your last workout, you were completely fueled up. You hit 10 reps. Now you're less than that, and you have to try and hit 11. It's not feasible at that point.
Yeah, it's you don't really have the facility, for that without the food. But then I also think okay, when I'm in prep, like I'm trying to keep my strength up on less food, so like my mental capacity just has to go there, you know. But like the food's also enhancing your recovery. Like the food is helping out your central nervous system. It's not just like, you know, it is fueling the muscle too, but it's allowing you to fuel all, you know, aspects of the recovery. So like your insulin, your IGF-1, you know, your fluid balance, all that stuff. The other thing I was gonna say is like that with the easy foods to eat, like the cream of rice, like the simple carbs, like the juices or the fruit, or like the honey or jam, but also like the ground meat, fish, you know, shredded chicken. If you can make chicken that's very easy to eat, like that's gonna make your digestion really easy. Do you have like any meals that like mess your digestion up, or like you hit it? If I have this meal at this time, it's gonna slow me down for these next few meals. Like, or are
Not
you
based on
pretty
my
much
current plan.
you're pretty yeah you're clicking along pretty good.
Yeah, I'll
But
just
that's something you
eliminate.
should also note too. Like if there's something in your meal plan to where like you hit a certain meal, and then after that meal you're not hungry for 4, 5, 6 hours later, you know, you got to communicate that to your coach, or if you don't have a coach and you're doing this on your own, like you need to probably adjust that meal. I'd probably first take a look at how big is that meal, how many, you know, is it a lot of carbs, a lot of fats,
Yeah.
is it a lot of protein, you know, what's your totals for the day, um you know. And then the other thing with the off season is like protein's going to be pretty much at a set point, fats are going to kind of be at a set point. Like, I mean, does Justin ever up your protein at all, or is it
He
mostly
upped
the
it.
carbs?
It's mostly carbs or fat. Like he upped it twice the entire since we came off the show. I think initially like my training day protein was 50 grams.
Per meal.
Yeah. And then at some
So
point he bumped it to
300.
55, and then now it's at 60. So
So that's
twice over.
360 grams a day.
Yeah, 60 grams per meal, which is
What are you weighing in right now at?
that was 231 this morning.
Yeah, so 231. It's about what? 231, 360.
What is that? Almost like 1.5 grams per body weight, something like that. Maybe 1.4.
It's about 1.5 times 230. Yeah. It's like 1 point. It's a little bit more than 1.5 actually, because
I think that's kind of the sweet
231
spot.
times 1.5 is 346. So
Okay.
you're at 360.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like, I mean, when I was younger, I would probably do like 1 gram per pound. That's kind of like what you always hear. Like in bodybuilding is like the minimum.
I think that's the minimum. I don't know. Like,
I agree with that.
I've
I
also
really
heard of people doing like 12 ounces of meat per meal. Like
Yeah.
Fuad had said, you know, he worked with like Chad Nichols, and he was like, there's always
I was
12
going to say that.
ounces. You know, and that 12 ounces of protein per meal is like, it's like 100 grams of protein, I think.
Yeah.
And about 12 ounces of chicken. I think that's around like, I think that's got to be about, I think that's 100 grams of protein.
Some
So
coaches
you're
I know
eating
like,
5 or 6 meals like that. That's 500-600 grams of protein per day.
and you got to think these guys are maybe like 250, maybe 300. So that's, you know, double their body weight in protein.
Yeah. Wow.
Have you noticed a difference? Like, where's your protein at right now compared to your body weight?
It's at 217. It's not very high. It's at 217 on my like, or 211 and then 217. Like 217 on my training day, and then 211 on my rest day.
Okay.
Which isn't very high. I've had it up as high as like 300, 320 before. And that's like
the difference in how you look or how you feel.
Yeah, I can't say right now about that. But that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, it's 211 and then 219 on my training day. So 211 on the rest day, 219 or 211 on rest day. I don't know. I always felt like actually when I like was drinking like aminos all day long that like my muscle had like probably because I was just more hydrated, that I had like more of a 3D look to the muscle.
Okay.
I would throw like a couple scoops of aminos in a gallon and just drink it throughout the day.
Yeah.
And I felt like that kind of had an effect.
I know a lot of guys,
that's
like
the other
Dusty
thing.
Hanshaw,
Protein
does
is
that.
what's that?
The aminos in the gallon, just kind of sips them throughout the day.
Who's that?
Dusty Hanshaw?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Milos is like big on pushing that too because he's like, put as much glutamine and creatine and aminos in your intra workout. And I mean, that's another topic in this video, which we can actually jump into right now because that's kind of like a good transition. I mean, one more thing. I mean, when you're pushing protein really high like that, like appetite could get blunted.
That's a good point.
I mean, but I've also heard Justin say like, between 1 and 1.5 is really where you want it to be at,
Yeah.
So you're still around that 1.5, give or take. And this is like we're not counting proteins from like you get 2-3 grams of protein from oats or like bread, or like
direct
it's like
sources.
real protein, from actual animal protein.
Which we probably get. How much do you think? Maybe
Probably
like
getting like 450 by the end of the day. Well, maybe maybe 400.
I was going to say probably like 50 grams from those.
Those are just extra amino acids. Do you have any amino acids in your intra workout shake?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think like rice and those proteins are complete proteins to be
now.
With, so.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my intra on my high day is 50 grams of protein, and then it's like 34 grams of EAAs. And then on my training day,
whey protein.
It's 50 grams of carbs.
Okay.
And then 34 grams of EAAs, which is like 2 big scoops. And then on my training days, it's like half that. So it's 25 carbs, 17 grams of EAAs.
On your non-training days or on your regular days?
Regular training days.
So on your you're not having it at all?
No. Rest day, we don't have any.
I used to have – my coach used to put me to have that on my actual rest day too.
Really?
Yeah.
Would it be like
his reasoning behind it was like, we're trying to feel growth. Like we could just use the carbs on those days. So
yeah. Now, do you do an intra shake?
Yeah. So right now mine's just 25 carbs. And then like I do 2 scoops of amino IV, which I think it's like 10 grams of aminos by the end of it, of EAAs. So that's really it. And then then I also have electrolytes in there too. And then sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of pink salt too, like just a crank or 2 of pink salt.
Yeah. So I also do I do 10 grams of glutamine. I do creatine too. 10 grams of creatine. I do 5 grams of taurine, and then 10 grams of glycerol monostearate.
Where did you get that?
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
You can just get it in bulk powder. It's pretty cheap too, and I really
is it
think it
oily,
helps.
the powder?
No.
Is it clumpy?
Not clumpy either.
Is it just a regular powder?
Yeah, it's from Bulk Supplements. It's really good.
Okay. I know it hydrates your muscle really well, actually. I want to give that a try.
Yeah, I really recommend it.
10 grams, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do 3 to 5 grams of taurine too, dude. I've been running through jars of taurine. Do you do there?
Posted, was it on your Instagram you did a thing about taurine?
Yeah. So I use the NutriBio taurine, and Ricky, who works at Southern Muscle, he did a video covering taurine. And yeah, like when I threw taurine in, dude, like I remember like I was hitting like a kind of like a mental wall in the training, and my coach had it in my plan, like here's what is in your intra workout, carbs, EAs, and taurine and creatine. I was like, okay, well, I have creatine, like aminos and carbs. Like I don't even know what the fuck taurine does, so fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then like I started to learn about it a little bit, like how it helps you hydrate better.
Yeah.
And like your body hold on to minerals, more properly, balances them out or something. I don't know. I started taking it and like instantly, like my mental fatigue in the gym, like it just dropped off a lot better. Like between the set, like it would just, my head would be spinning, like, and then I wouldn't like feel like I think sometimes I would get headaches too. I used to get a lot of headaches actually.
Really?
And
Training?
yeah, like random, like I would get headaches like randomly, sometimes it was because I didn't have caffeine in the morning. Um, or if it was probably because I was dehydrated a lot,
Yeah.
you know. And the taurine helps you stay hydrated, so I think that really took care of that, and that allowed me to put out better in the gym. And just, I think it has a good effect on, if your brain is properly hydrated, you're going to connect to the muscle better.
Oh, 100%.
Hmm.
I first started taking taurine in like prep, from,
For the clen cramps and stuff.
yeah,
I knew about
yeah.
it for that, but I didn't actually it's all I knew about it for.
And then I just happened to have some left over. So I was like, let me try to throw this in my Intra just to use it up. And I like really liked it. I noticed a difference. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to keep doing this.
What do you feel like you noticed with it?
Like you said, like sometimes after like a really hard set, like the muscle is, I don't know what the word is. It's like fatigued to the point where like I almost feel like the next set isn't going to be as effective. Like if I
Like it
have
kind of
one
stays in
really,
that red zone for a little
yeah,
bit longer than you'd
yeah,
want it to
yeah, yeah,
almost.
yeah. So then I'm sitting around waiting. And then before you know it, like 5 minutes has gone by where you finally feel like ready. Like my
Hmm.
breathing has returned to normal, but the muscle just doesn't feel ready to go. And the
Yeah,
taurine kind of reduces that fatigue time.
yeah.
But I'm not sure the mechanism, but I just, like you said, I think it has to do with like retaining minerals, um, and just kind of
Mhm.
staying overall better hydrated. So if the muscle's more hydrated, it's going to recover quicker,
Yeah,
after
I
sets.
don't understand. Like, I mean, I'm sure if I were to actually go and read about taurine and really understand it through and through, I can give a thorough answer as to what it does.
Hmm.
Um, I just know it has something to do with hydration and the way your mineral balance is, and I think what I understood about taking it when you're taking clen is it clen depletes you of your minerals a bit.
I
Is that
believe so.
have you heard that? Or
Yeah.
throws off your mineral balance to something, and then so that's what rebalances you. Also for lower back pumps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that'll kind of fix that too, actually.
If you're taking like Anadrol or Dianabol or something where it's really kind of causes low back pumps, a lot of people suggest using like some taurine to counteract that.
Yeah, do you ever get really watery or feel puffed up or going into your high day, like a leg day like that?
Now, I mean, in my rebound, I was getting like super watery after high days,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
weird. It's your body has to assimilate all that water before it sits in your lower back for a
it
bit.
was bad for a while. Like
Yeah.
I would be making like food, and I would have to like lean over
Bend
the counter,
over.
like yeah, to give my low back a break.
Yeah.
But it just kind of slowly faded away, and the water started coming off.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of takes away those lower back pumps, if you're getting them, is just throwing in some cardio and moving blood
Yeah,
through the hips, and just not even just walking really, just getting a little
yeah,
bit of
that's a good
sweat
point.
and then just staying hydrated. Um, yeah, man, intra workout. I think we pretty much got it covered. Creatine. Have you always ran the creatine? There was a point. I was when I first started taking creatine, I was so religious about it. It would make me upset if I
Yeah,
forgot to take it the day. Yes, I
yeah,
could see it. I would see my muscle. I don't know if this was
yeah,
in my head or what, but I didn't take my creatine yesterday. I could see it. Muscle's
yeah.
not as full. I
Well,
was
like when I
a
first
maniac
started, like
about
when you're
taking
reading the
creatine daily.
magazines and stuff, creatine is like talked about like a steroid almost. Like so, when you
Yeah.
first start taking, it, like, oh, like I gotta take this, like I cannot miss it. But then certain times came off where it's like, you know, I'm not gonna take it. I don't want to spend the money on it. And then I would just be like,
Mhm.
oh, I can get a deal with it. I'm gonna start taking it again. But since the last maybe 3, 4 years, I've taken it religiously, and I
Yeah.
mean, I don't notice anything negative, and it's pretty cheap, so
I get it for free every month.
that's
Yeah, if
that's the
anybody
best case
wants a
scenario.
discount on supplements, use my code below, Matt SM at Southern Muscle or at southernmuscle.shop, so I can keep getting free supplements. I
There you go.
appreciate the free creatine. Thanks, bro. Um, yeah, no, when I first I was like, well, I'm taking gear, I don't need creatine,
Yeah.
but no, when I first started taking creatine, I remember taking it, and I don't know if it was like placebo or what, but I remember like being in the gym and like before I'd be in the gym and like I'd get to like the last like rep or whatever and I'd like give out or like I would almost like laugh because like I don't know what it was. But then I started taking creatine and like I was gonna get that extra rep. I don't know if this was the placebo part, but I wasn't laughing anymore about like
Yeah.
I was just like I had that extra level of focus to like get that extra 1 or 2 reps, and I did. I would get it, you know, and I
Yeah.
didn't change anything. Like I didn't like start working on my diet better or like have a better pre-workout meal or do anything really different. I just started taking creatine and like got 2 more reps.
Yeah.
It was a little
And
bit more
even if it is
focused.
a placebo effect, who gives a shit? It's still 2 more
Yeah,
reps, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Actually, if someone does have like believes something's working for them, like there might be
100%
some
agree.
power in that. Like you might like not want to ruin someone's placebo, unless it's
Yeah.
like just totally, flawed. Like one time I was working at a supplement store and someone came in and they were like, yeah, we don't want to buy the whey protein because we're not trying to put on weight.
Oh,
He's just trying to have we just want the aminos
yeah.
because he just wants to put on lean muscle. And I was like,
How'd you handle that
yep.
conversation?
I was just like, yep.
Yeah.
You got it.
Just get him out of the store.
But the thing is, like, I was talking to my dad the other week, and because I went out to visit him in Colorado, and like back then, all they didn't have like whey isolate shakes.
Yeah.
They had this stuff called Weight On, which was
Yeah.
like a weight gainer, and this was like the 70s, 80s, like whatever. This is like when supplements first started coming out.
Uh-huh.
And so there's been this like myth that like whey protein is going to bulk you up. Like it's
Okay.
gonna like and like people would come into the supplements like, oh, I don't want to take whey protein. Like for some reason, everybody knows like or thinks that whey protein is gonna bulk them up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, good luck. If that protein bulks you up, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a jar of whatever you like in here.
Well, there's these like weird little like kind of halfway facts that like certain people know that are they're not into fitness or bodybuilding, but they're like kind of fringe. And there's these certain like stereotypes, like
I got another
women that
one.
say, like you have women that don't want to lift weights because they say, "Oh, I'm going to get too big."
Well, there's that one. Everybody
I don't
does
want to
that
lift weights. I'm going to get too big.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
even
one.
had male clients that were like, "Oh, I'm not trying to get too big. I don't want to lift heavy." I was like, "I've been trying to get too fucking big for like the last 20 years. Like, believe me, it's not that easy."
Yeah, man. The other one is like when I'm like getting close to a show, like, and you kind of talk to a normal person, they're like, I tell them I tell them how much weight I lose, like I lose like 25, 30 pounds, and they're like, oh wow, you just dehydrate all that weight off. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, why does everybody think that you just dehydrate? Like, and it's like it is like a thing that fighters do. Like, but it's like the last thing you do is dehydrate. Like, and like when you dehydrate, I'm dehydrating like 2 pounds, 3 pounds.
Yeah.
4 or 5 pounds, maybe.
It's tough though because I even hear like people that should know better, like people in the sport. Like you'll hear like local competitors, like at the gym, I'm sure. Well, they'll say, "Oh, I was just holding too much water." Like, and then you're like, you were still fat. You still had another 10 pounds of body fat to lose.
Yeah,
but they're convinced it was water.
No, never count on like the diuretic's going to do it. Like, once you get this water off, be ready to go. There is a point though. There is like when you are flat as can be, you will actually look not as lean because like the
very
muscles
true.
are not pressing against the skin. And you'll look sort of watery, but you can tell if it's water or if it's fat. It's like that thick to thin skin kind of thing. It's like if the skin looks thick and there's like cushion to it, it's fat. If it's like thin and like it's like skinned out like that, like you're just super flat. Like
it's like
you can see through the skin.
Justin describes it. I've heard him describe it as like a glazed donut look. Like the skin just looks like it has a weird glaze over it, when someone's like too flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you check out any of the USAs?
Yeah. I
Where
like
was that? Was that Chicago or Vegas?
Vegas. The one
Uh-huh.
guy I follow on Instagram, Joe, I don't know his last name. It begins with a P. I think he's going to end up winning the supers and maybe the overall. He's one
Is
of
that
Justin
tomorrow?
Compton's clients.
Is it a 2-day show for them?
So prejudging was yesterday. I kept looking for updates. I thought it was today, the finals, but I haven't seen anything yet.
They have a whole another fucking 24 hours. So that's like, okay, they get on prejudging
Prejudging was
Friday.
yesterday.
So Friday, and then they don't get on stage. Wait, today's Saturday though.
So maybe tonight they must go
It's gotta
one.
be tonight then. They gotta be the last ones to go on.
Another guy I follow is Zayd King. He's probably going to win the light heavyweights. He's got a really good physique.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty motivated though by seeing the guys. Like,
I mean, it's good quality physiques up there, man.
Yeah, like it's the first call outs in all the divisions were really fucking good.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the women. I don't know what some of the women look like, but
I didn't either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then also last week I told you that I was gonna hold off her refeed until Wednesday, so she made it through. Yeah, so she made it through to Wednesday, and then like I did like a few I don't know how well this will come up here.
She's doing Tampa this week, right? Next week.
Yeah, I don't know how good this is actually going to come up on the phone. Okay, so like on the right side, on the left side, flat, watery. Like if you see her like midsection,
yeah,
her
legs have so much more pop. Afterward.
Yeah. So you could see that. Like I'm still gonna try to bring her down a little bit more this week. And then the thing is, what I also took note of was like, this was one day after her refeed here. Now, like you might not be able to see this like in detail to the way I can see it.
The right side is after, right?
Yeah, so it's day 2 after the refeed plus 1 day back on her base diet.
She looks better. Day 2.
You see her adductors more,
Yeah.
And that's not just like where the screen's at, but like, yeah, you can see the adductors popping a little bit more. So what I like, the thing is I gave her 160 grams of carbs and she like went up like a pound or whatever, like 1 or 2 pounds, which like I wasn't really worried about. And then like the next day she was back down like 101. She was like 99.8. And then I gave her the refeed. She went up to like 102. And then the next day she was 101. So I think what I'll do is I think she looks her best like a day and a half after her refeed, right? So like 1 day and then a day back on her base diet.
Yeah.
Or another night of sleep, for those carbs to actually like really soak in and like fill out. And like the thing is, like she's a girl, like a guy, like you could load a guy like on Friday, like some guys they're just not going to be able to eat enough carbs to fill out their entire muscle, their muscle values in 24 hours, or 12 hours.
Yeah, like I remember Milos was talking about Dennis Wolf. He gave him like 1,500 grams of carbs back-to-back days, like to fill him. That's what it would like required.
Well, that's why like you need insulin at that point. Like, and your body's so insulin sensitive at that point. Like, how could you even like consider that? But like to really get those carbs to where they need to get to as fast as possible, like that's where I can see you needing insulin.
100%.
But then also like, I mean, that also is like, okay, what carbs do you use for that? Do you use like sugars and because you don't want it all going, half of it going to the liver. You want, it going to the muscle. I mean, you can use some sugars and stuff just to put them in. They'll load a little bit later, but like, you do a lot of cream of rice. You need like glucose, like straight up glucose. Like, they make like diabetic glucose tablets, but they also make some candy that's made out of glucose. But I would just be like, I don't know, a little worried about how someone's body's going to respond. Yeah, it's glucose syrup, but it's also red dye 40. They haven't had in like whatever how long, and green 30 or whatever fucking artificial colors and shit. which I don't know how much of that shit makes a difference, but someone's body could like, you know what I think happened? I think happened to who's that guy? Logan, who worked with Milo, is a classic guy.
Franklin.
Logan.
Yeah.
He didn't make the Olympia last year.
No.
I think
He
what
was very
happened was
kind of like mysterious about why he
he
didn't
said
too.
he got sick. I think he like they probably tried to load with insulin and he,
Yeah.
and
I
hypo
feel
and
like that, or maybe diuretics to make weight might have fucked him up.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
Because he's a big guy for classic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I
But
had like
anyways,
you were talking about your client. Like I heard something on a podcast that I thought was interesting. I wanted to get your take on it. It
mhm,
was Giles Thomas and Ron Harris. They were talking about like different weight
mhm,
classes, and it
yeah.
was something I never thought about. Like every women's division has no weight class. There's no
Oh,
weight
really?
classes in any women's division. Like
Mm.
figure, fitness, bikini, wellness, physique, bodybuilding. Isn't that kind of interesting compared to now every male
They
division has a
just don't
weight
want
class?
they don't want women stepping on scales, bro.
You think that's what it is?
I don't know. I mean, I don't, dude. Like, I have like some female clients that are like banned from doing body scans because they like want to do it. Like, I had one client who wanted to do it like every week or every other week, and it's like, why am I not getting results? Because you're looking at it every fucking week.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking because it's 2 weeks later and you've trained for 2 weeks, like something's gonna happen. Like I don't even do scans myself. I'll do them like once in like a blue moon, just to
Hmm.
see like where's the muscle, like what does the scan say? 'Cause I don't know how much I actually give like credit to the scan. I think if it is consistent, it's something it's like your scale. It's like, yeah, your scale matters. Like it's gonna tell you what your weight is. Do you check your weight every day?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see the trends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, there's
Yeah.
never anything that I can't explain, though. Like,
On prep, do you check it every day?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which is
think I do
probably like
too.
maybe isn't the best thing when you're in prep. But like, I think it's better because like some of the shows that I did by myself, like I would just weigh in once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So like if something fucks up and I show up like a pound heavier, I might have been 2 pounds lighter the day before, but I just see that 1 pound heavier weighing in once a week. So I'm like, fuck, I gained a pound. I gotta like cut calories even more. So I think if you check it every day, you can kind of see where your body's trending. And I think
Yeah.
it
Before you
could be
make a
like a
real
mind
decision.
fuck. I think it's more beneficial.
I think I checked it every day on prep, but what I would check it, if I checked it and I was up a pound or two, like I would, okay, well, it's 5 a.m. right now. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you usually weigh in at 8 a.m., so
Yeah.
like you have another 3 hours. Like sometimes like I would check it in the middle of the night.
Really?
Like, after we go to the bathroom, like, what do I weigh right now? And then like by the time I wake up, I'll be like 3 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
I drop a ton of weight overnight, dude. Like almost 10
Uh-huh.
pounds every night.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like I'm
Still?
10 pounds heavier. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't know what it is, but like my body just like I literally put on 10 pounds like from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed.
Yeah.
Can't explain it. Like it's always been like dramatic like that.
That's the other thing with like the off season. Like you're gonna push like if you were to weigh out all the fucking food, like yeah, you're probably eating close to 10 pounds, and then the fluid, the fluid,
Yeah.
all the water, like your body's like going through this process every day. So if one day like you miss a few meals, now you're 7 pounds up this day, and then you're
Yeah.
10 pounds this day, and then you're 7 this day, and then back to 9 this day. Like average for the week, yeah, you gain like a quarter of a pound, and maybe not much of that is actual muscle because you couldn't really progress in the gym.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you normally
or
drink
when you're
7 liters of water and you only drank 6. That's 2 pounds.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and those are, I mean, those trends, like, yeah, that'll actually reflect. Um, I mean, there's a lot in the off season. Just food wise, like there's a lot to cover, but the food is the foundation really for the off season. But there's also some like off season cycles that are like, I guess popular, like like that some have been popularized, and some people I mean, you have like Test Deca D-ball like as
Yeah.
being like, you know, like some people who like know that almost not to the degree that people think you have to get dehydrated, but to lose weight for a bodybuilding show, or that if a woman touches a weight, she's going to get bulky, or like you don't want
Yeah.
to get too big, or whey protein makes you gain weight. But like people that have stepped their toe in the water of the sport of bodybuilding kind of know about like D-ball gets you huge.
Yeah.
Um,
Windstroke gets you cut. I feel like that's probably the most
Windstroke gets you
popular.
shredded.
Yeah.
Trend's gonna make you just jacked as can be.
But you're going to be crazy on it.
Yeah, you're gonna be crazy. Deca's instantly gonna make your dick not work.
Yeah.
And then I feel like people don't even know about Masteron or Primabon or
They don't.
Equipoise. Maybe even Anadrol. They might know.
I had like a friend, it's like a casual like gym friend, and he took gear, so you would think he knew more, but like he asked me one time, this was a couple years ago. I was like, "Oh, I'm running like tests in Primabon." He's like, "Primabon? That's just another testosterone." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, Primabon is just testosterone." He was thinking of Propiony, and he thought I was doing two different types of testosterone.
I was listening to this podcast yesterday. It was, who Todd Lee is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was interviewing this like kid. I can't remember the kid's name, but he's like kind of famous on like TikTok, I guess, for putting out information with like gear and stuff, and like actual like accurate information. You know who Victor Black is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're kind like he kind of creates a shit list of people. Like he's kind of I think he's kind of a fucking crybaby.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but like
he seems to not like it being questioned in any way.
Yeah, and he likes to like get credit for every single thing like that he's ever said. But and if he doesn't, he'll throw like a tantrum. But that's kind of how these two came together, because like that kid's on his shit list, and then like Todd kind of is because of something he said in the past that he's changed his mind on.
Yeah.
But Todd said something. He was like, "Yeah, bodybuilders used to be stupid as fuck." Like,
yeah,
and like some of them were like, "Well, I take 1 cc of this, and I take how many cc's should I take a week?" And that's
I've gotten that question before too. You're like, well, it depends what the dose is.
Well, I take 3 cc's. When?
Yeah.
Like in one shot, like
a week,
like like how many milligrams is it? Oh, I don't know. It says it's 200 per vial.
Yeah.
like so does that mean I draw it up to the 2 mark? I mean, there's a lot of like just basic stuff I think you should have learned in like your like math or science class, like in school, like but yeah, he like went and explained like 1 ml is how many milligrams are per milliliter. So if it's 250, 1 cc is 1 milliliter, so that's 250 milligrams per milliliter.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said like bodybuilders used to be like kind of dumb, and like they were like fuck science, like science doesn't mean anything, like like I don't know. It was funny the way he said it and everything.
Well, there was
now,
that there used to be that like meathead stereotype, like
yeah, that was
pick
like a
things
real
up
thing.
And put them down. That Planet Fitness commercial.
Yeah, I mean, but now like there's a lot of science, and there's a lot of like there is a lot of science in bodybuilding. There's a lot of like educated bodybuilders and stuff like that, and with like the invention of the internet, like I mean, first with the forums, like if you ever like go read through forums, it's interesting. Like, look at the date, like it was posted. If it says like 2007, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like this information makes sense for being from 2007. But then you read like something, okay, this must be recent, So, yeah, I mean, like now, I mean, a popular like off-season cycle like is not even really just a popular off-season cycle, but like the way they're kind of structured now is like you have how much testosterone can you tolerate?
Yeah.
without having excess estrogen or having issues with that. And then you add an anabolic, like it could be
Yeah.
Primobolan EQ. I mean, Masteron. It could be, Deca. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Any
Mm-hmm.
all-season cycle, I think, is going to be. It's going to come down to a testosterone base
Mm-hmm.
and one, maybe two anabolics that you like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And every cycle almost is going to fall into that.
Yeah, and then most off-season cycles won't have orals in them nowadays.
I was going to say that. That's a mistake I made in the past. I've tried Anadrol in the past. We've talked about. And
did you run that straight through?
No, I would use it as like a Kickstarter, like maybe the first 4 weeks.
You'd run it 4 weeks through, though.
Yeah, that is true.
I remember
like
taking Dianabol. Like, I liked it. Like, I liked taking it. I would take it pre-workout, and I remember taking like 5 or 6 or 7 days. I made it through like a week, and I was getting acid by the end of the week. And it was like the D-ball. Cut it out.
Yeah. Have you ever tried Superdraw?
Yeah, I have tried Superdraw.
What did you think of it?
It's pretty good. I actually used it pre-contest too.
Did you really like to leading into the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I peaked with it and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck! What show was that?
I did it for. I did it for my show in 2019, which like I had over dieted by that point. I was using T3 too. But no, like it works really well actually. The one thing I think it does, I don't know if it was like just the prep, like it being the third show that it was catching up with me, but I was getting lethargic, like kind of on it.
Okay.
So I think it was probably hitting my liver. And I wasn't like huge on taking like health subs then, because I was like, well, if I'm gonna take it, like I'll fix it up after, like when I'm off,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've always been curious to try either like
you ever
the
use
leg.
Superdrug?
I have. I used it in the off season, which killed my appetite, but strong as fuck on it. Like dramatic, like immediate increase in strength. But I can only run it like 2 weeks because I just couldn't eat on it.
Yeah.
But I've been
I
curious
just ran
to try
it the
either.
last 2 weeks before a show, I think.
I've been curious to try either that or Anadrol, like the last 3-4 weeks before a show.
Yeah. I still like haven't heard of anybody like really actually using Anadrol. Like we used Anadrol in my first like off-season cycle was like Test, Deca, EQ, and then we eventually dropped out the Deca, added an Anadrol. We might have had all those things going at once. I don't know, but and then Novodex was in too.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any gyno. Like I had no gyno. I didn't have Deca dick. I think I grew pretty well. If I was actually like focused on the food, I would have grown a lot better. But I was having like my free meal, which was Ben and Jerry's every week, versus like kebabs or sushi, But like that was also probably the other thing. Like the Anadrol probably wasn't good for me to like try to be running, being smaller to begin with. Something that's gonna hurt your appetite. I have some on hand right now, which I would like to like play it this off season, but I think the way I'll run it is just on the training days. So I'm training 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, then 2 days off. It's something like that. That's how it's structured, So I'll at least have like those little days in between to let it kind of clear. And then, it's a short half-life, so it doesn't really build up, but it's in and out of your system. And then, the one way I'm thinking about taking it is running it pre-workout. And then the other way would be, if that goes to shit, then maybe try before bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have pills and then I have a couple bottles of injectable. Yeah. And every week I literally pick this up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start it this week. And then I like think better. I'm like, it's gonna kill your fucking appetite. And then I put it back.
Well, what about the injectable? The thing I've heard about the injectables is that the solvents they use in it, like are toxic or so. I don't fucking know. Does your gear have a smell to it? Like if you smell the top of the vial, does it smell like anything?
It
From
has
the
a
lab I
smell.
have right now, it smells like my dad used to have this like testo gel, like this Andrew gel.
Uh-huh.
And if you ripped out open one of those, it smells like it smells. And it reminds me of that.
Yeah,
Like that's like pure testosterone that you rub on your skin and it absorbs. So like that's what my gear smells like for some
it
reason.
kind of smells like a little bit like WD-40 actually.
Yeah.
Like it has that like metallic kind of, I don't know what
Yeah,
you
it's like a
call
weird
it.
metallic smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but the brand I have right now does have a smell. The EQ as well as the test both have like a little bit of a smell to it.
Yeah. I think I've had gear in the past that didn't have the smell. It could just be the carrier oil, or it could be the preservative, like the benzyl. They have benzyl benzate and benzyl alcohol in it.
Hmm.
The Primo I'm taking right now is actually it's 150. It's 150 milligrams per milliliter. The other one I had was just 100.
Okay.
So it is like I'm getting some fucking like some welts with it a little bit too, actually, because I'll inject it sub Q.
Okay.
Like what I'll do is I'll grab like a pinch of fat, like on the upper thigh, or like a glute, like glute fat, or like a shallow intramuscular shot,
Hmm.
and like it'll knot a little bit. But I know it's Primo mostly because I've ran this gear before, but I never ran their Primo, and it was smooth.
Primo is
But
kind of notorious for welting up.
yeah, at 100 milligrams per milliliter, it was fine, but this is 150, so I think
Okay.
that might be part of it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to switch over to Primo.
From your
Um,
EQ.
yeah, I've been running EQ for maybe a good 12 weeks, maybe.
Uh
So
huh.
I'm just going to swap it out for Primo. I haven't ordered it yet, but that's
Do
my
you think
plan.
do you think that running Primo and EQ together would be like would there be any point
I
to
think it would
doing
be
that? Or,
money. I think it would be like a money cycle.
yeah,
But I'm just trying not to get my milligrams too high in the off season, like looking forward to prep. So
right.
I'm just going to swap one out for the other. But I think
Well, how
running
many how
both
many milligrams of EQ would you run? Are you running
with the Primo or right now by
just
itself,
alone?
I'm doing 800 EQ.
Yeah. Uh huh.
I think like if you did like a gram of Primo and like 500 EQ, I think that would be pretty crazy of a cycle.
Yeah, dude, I'm only on 600 Primo. I'm on 600 Primo and then 400 tests, and everything's been pretty smooth. I dropped out Deca. I had Deca in, but I was just getting watery. I was just not liking like the water.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if people have mental sides from Deca, but like
I've heard that the people get anxiety or a little bit of depression on it.
I don't know if I got that from EQ either or what, but like I don't know. I was feeling a little bit low, but then like I'm also like looking at a few things like, okay, well, like I just got like a little cold, like that could kind of be a part of it. Like, when you look watery, you're probably not,
Yeah.
thrilled about that when you're just peeled to the bone. Like, like what actually is like, am I actually, it wasn't like a lingering, like low feeling, but there was
Yeah.
like moments, and that could just be how it is right now. And that's fine. You just got to go through that. But,
When you drop the Deca, did you notice you look less watery?
well, I mean, I think I'm still sort of still in my system a little bit, so my pumps
How
are
long
still
ago did
really
you drop
good.
it?
I dropped it last week,
Okay, yeah, it'll
so
still hang around for a few weeks.
yeah, like I think another week or two, it'll be like sort of still active a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about running in, like adding in the EQ, and I was thinking going like 400, and then bringing the test up to 600 because I
Yeah.
know EQ is gonna kind of compete for that aromatase enzyme too, along with the Primo. So I just don't want my estrogen to get too low.
Yeah. I think that would be like, I really
Hmm.
can't say like enough good things about EQ in general. Like
Hmm.
that's probably my favorite drug. Like
Yeah,
overall.
what are you gonna swap out? So you're gonna add in Primo for the EQ. What are you gonna run that at? You're gonna run it at a gram?
I think I'm gonna do a gram of Primo.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's the milligrams, the total milligrams are a little bit higher, but Primo's a lot
How high are you
more.
running your test?
1200.
Okay, so you'll run that a little bit higher than like EQ or Primo.
Yeah, I always have my test as the highest, except well, I don't know, except at
What about
certain
on
periods
PET?
of contest prep, my test would
Mhm.
drop below. I think my masteron dose was like 600 at one point. of my last
what,
prep, and
like
I think my
5?
test was like 400.
4? Yeah, like I could see dropping tests down in prep just to get estrogen, like kind of at a lower spot.
Yeah, in
You
the
know?
off season, I think it should be your number one, your highest dosed
Mhm.
compound.
Yeah. The thing with like the test being high in cycles with like say Masteron or Primobolan or Equipoise, Primo, Masteron, they don't well, Equipoise will convert to estrogen to a degree. We don't really know like exactly how much EQ. They say like it's like half the rate of what EQ converts to do estrogen is testosterone, but we don't know like what actual form of estrogen that is, if it's estradiol, like which
Estrone.
testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, or estrone, like a weak form of estrogen. But like Primo and Masteron won't convert at all. They can't convert into estrogen, but they can still bind to the aromatase enzyme.
Mm-hmm.
So the aromatase enzyme converts your testosterone into estrogen to a degree. So if your test is not very high and you don't have enough estrogen production from that because your Primo or your Masteron or your EQ is competing for it, you can see low estrogen symptoms, and then you're going to have like joint issues because your estrogen's important for your bone health, bone mineral density, and then also like your lipid panel and stuff like that will go kind of the shit. Also
Mm-hmm.
your brain health, and I think they're probably I'm pretty sure it's even kidney protective, but that's the reason to run the test higher, which kind of feeds into like how else do you kind of stay healthy through the off season? Okay, maybe you don't run orals.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you do them for short periods, or you just play them smart. I mean, the number one anabolic in your off season is going to be the amount of food and like rest you can get,
Yeah.
and how intense your training is going to be, and the gear is there to help you recover from it. Now, to stay healthy, because you also do want to have that recovery capability, from the gear. So that's why you're going to run the dosages. You're going to push them pretty hard. To supplement that recovery. How do you stay healthy on this? So, I've been running telmisartan since last year, like over almost probably over a year now.
That's great.
40 milligrams a day, dude. Like every day. I have gone up to 80. I started like thinking I needed to go to 80 because I was on DECA and I was like, well, getting water. Maybe this will take some of the water off a little bit, but I mean, my blood work looked really good. At least the lipid panel. I haven't seen everything else, but the one thing I noticed was I was able to like really actually push. Like, I think I was getting like blood pressure issues when I would get to like 190 and then like 194,
Mm-hmm.
195. And then it would just like I would want to miss meals because I'm like, dude, my fucking blood pressure. If I eat another meal, I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
And then once I got that in, it took like 3 months. It took like 60 days to get the telmisartan in. It came from
Fuck,
like
dude.
Turkey.
That's where I got mine from.
It fucking came
Yeah.
like so long, but it was like from the pharmacy in Turkey or whatever. And and I started taking 40 milligrams a day, and man, I felt so much better.
Yeah. I'm taking
Um,
80 right now.
you take 80?
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
I never ran it before this off season, but I knew that we were going to try to like push weight up pretty considerable. So I was like,
Yeah,
fuck, if I'm really going to gain a lot of weight, I should kind of have like that telmisartan to kind of like monitor my blood pressure even
yeah,
before we start gaining the weight. And it's been good. Like I take my blood pressure a couple times a week, first thing in the morning, and it's maybe
uh-huh,
like 135 over 82, 128 over 80. It's like pretty good actually.
yeah,
Um, and like when I've been heavier in the past, like I've been heavy in the past, but like not this body composition. My
mm-hmm,
blood pressure would get around like over 140 over 90, like 148 over 94.
yeah,
So I've had issues before when I've been heavy, but this is almost the heaviest I've been,
yeah.
and no
That's the
blood pressure
thing.
issues running the telmisartan.
Yeah, that's the thing with getting heavier is that like you're putting more pressure on the arteries and the heart and more water on the body, so the heart's having to work harder, putting more pressure on the kidneys, so the blood pressure just has to come up in order to pump blood to all these areas. So what like the telmisartan is going to do is gonna with testosterone and growth hormone and any pretty much anabolic is going to do. Any anabolic, you're going to increase aldosterone. So what an ARB does, telmisartan or like losartan, or any of the sartan variety drugs, is their aldosterone receptor, or it's adenosine receptor blocker, or ARB. Let me see. They're angiotensin receptor blockers. So yeah, you have from taking like anything like test GH or any anabolics, you're going to increase aldosterone, which is going to signal angiotensin to make your body hold on to, well, angiotensin 2 is going to increase aldosterone, which is going to make you hold more water weight, no matter what the drug is. Mm-hmm. So when you have that happening and you're pushing up weight, you're having like two types of things that can be impacting your blood pressure. So it's not always just estrogen. Some estrogen is going to play a role because you'll get some water from estrogen, but it's not like the main culprit. It's usually the aldosterone being so high. Mm-hmm. So having that in check, I'm still digesting the steak. I'm going to throw this up in 12 hours from now.
And it's going to show up.
Bits of steak.
Yeah.
No,
I love that metaphor.
Yeah. So yeah, just keeping the blood pressure in check is so key, because it's known as a silent killer. I mean, if you fuck your kidneys up, you fuck your heart up, like you're not going to be able to bodybuild very long. So
I think that's probably the number one issue bodybuilders run into is kidney problems from high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you can just avoid that, like the likelihood of anything else really occurring is pretty low.
Yeah, because if your kidneys are regulated, now your heart is not having to work as hard and should be pretty healthy.
Yeah.
I think we'll see bodybuilders be actually living longer than what we've seen in the past. But then that's also like the other side of the coin. It's like, okay, well, now that we have these drugs, like we could push harder, we could be fucking bigger. And it's like,
I forget who's
does it just like meet down the middle?
Yeah, I forget what podcast it was. They were talking about that. They were like, since we have these, drugs that can mitigate certain side effects, are bodybuilders more likely to increase the dose because they're like, oh fuck, I can keep my blood pressure low and run.
I think I heard that same one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was like one of anabolic bodybuilding, Paul's podcast.
Okay,
I think they talked about it on there. Yeah,
I think we were talking about it with Dave Tate, if I remember. I think it was Dave Tate and Paul were talking about it.
Yeah. I think they said, yeah. Oh, maybe it was on the dude. I get so many of those Elite FTS videos. Every time my phone, like if I finish a video, any fucking video, an Elite FTS video comes up next.
I don't really watch.
They're actually good though. Like there are some good ones. There are a lot of powerlifting ones, but like I do like to tune into some of them sometimes.
Yeah, he's had like John Revis on, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Van Wyck was on there, so he's had a lot of bodybuilders.
I like Mike Van Wyck. Yeah, man,
I do too, dude. I love his like approach to things.
Mm-hmm. I like his video on Instagram. He posted like it's a great piece of equipment for texting on.
Yeah,
you could fucking row this.
The seated row, right? Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm fucking great pieces of equipment for texting. He's always got on these shirts too. I'm gonna see what his store looks like online.
Yeah, I actually
makes all those.
He has like drops like every few months. He has like a drop, like a merchandise drop, where it's like the website's active for like 7 days, and then he shuts it down for like a few months.
Dude, that's a sweet business.
Yeah, and he gets like a ton of orders too.
Yeah, because they're like he has like huge coffin crew or something.
That's the one I bought. Big coffin crew.
Did you get that one?
Yeah.
I want to see what he's got, man. He's got some good ones. Yeah, he's funny.
What was the one I saw? He has one. It says on the back, it's I went to your gym and nobody knew you, or something like that.
That's good. I mean, but like his actual like training stuff is good too, man. Like I didn't even know that he was a bodybuilder. Like I had to like look up his, but like yeah, he won like the Canadian Nationals, and Canada's a little bit different about how they give out pro cards.
Only one guy gets a pro card.
Only one, and
Yeah.
like the U.S. is different. Well, like it used to be like when like back in like the '90s or like you know then like when Rich Gaspari was competing, like you had to like win the universe, and then you go to like the um Night of Champions or something. I don't you if you won like the universe, like you were now invited like to compete to become a pro.
Yeah. And I think in the 80s and 90s, I think you could win a pro card at the USA
Uh huh.
or Nationals. So there
Uh
were
huh.
two pro cards given out, and then at a certain point, it went to class winners, and now like the Nationals top two at
Yeah. I
classes.
mean, there's more people in the sport though, man. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy. Like if this was like 20 years ago, at the posing seminar I was at today, there wouldn't have been there wasn't posing seminars,
no.
and then there wouldn't be like more than one jacked person in the gym. Like,
Well, like back in the
you
day,
have your hot spots and stuff, but like,
you knew like the amateurs back in the day, like we know the pros now because there
yeah,
were so few. You like knew who the
hmm
top 10 guys were going to be going into an amateur show
yeah,
because there was only 10 guys coming in. You
hmm
know.
yeah. Have you ever checked out any of that kid Sam Sulik's videos? That Fuad had signed.
Yeah,
You like his training and stuff?
I think he's kind of like reckless training.
He kind of is. He's
Like
only
I feel
like
like I'd get
21
hurt if
though.
I tried that. But he's fucking
Yeah,
huge for what is he, 21?
I think he's 21, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nasty. Dude.
he's just like a bro. Like he's like eating like Chipotle and then like
Yeah.
going to go lift.
I'm sure like based on those genetics, he's probably gonna be
Yeah,
something big in the sport at some point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see what he does. Or I hear a few people talking about doing that Fuad show. It's April though.
Yeah.
It's early, dude. It's like that's like the thing is like what I've been seeing now with all the shows lately
Hmm.
is they're getting better and better. Like in the middle of the summertime,
Yeah.
and towards the end of the year, like this time right now, June, July, August. Well, maybe not even August, but maybe even August, I would say, because if you're trying to go qualify for nationals, people might have came out of like universe, or they might have came out of USA's, and like, all right, they didn't qualify. They're gonna. I guess they would they be still They might still be qualified to go and do nationals in December, or they might have to requalify and do a show.
Yeah, like if someone competed, let's say in July of last year, they do the
hmm
USAs, they don't make top five, they're gonna have to qualify again to do nationals at the end of
So
the year.
you gotta crack top five to stay qualified,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I
But
think this is like the time to compete. Like April's really early.
yeah, our plan that we talked about is we're gonna do an early spring show, so like
Uh huh.
April, May, and then like try to have another big rebound and then do either North Americans or nationals.
When is North Americans?
I think it's October.
Oh, so there's still another national show coming up.
Yeah.
Seems like they just been back to back, dude. Because there was well, I guess there was Junior USA's, which was the
Yeah.
first one. Then it was Chattanooga Junior Nationals. Then it was Universe.
And
Then
Masters.
USA. Then Masters Nationals.
Yeah.
Then Junior USA, or then USA's,
Yeah. It's already been
and then
five.
North Americans, and then Nationals. Yeah, there's seven.
And then Masters USA is at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, that's in
California.
Anaheim. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
So it's
so okay.
wild, dude.
Wow, dude. Yeah, but like the level of competition's been like I've seen like from like I didn't really get to like I was still in prep, so I wasn't really like looking at like junior USA's or like junior nationals too much. But like I saw junior I get caught like junior nationals. I started to kind of look at it, and then I looked at uh what was the one after that? There was one right after that. Um
after
Was it
Junior USA's.
was it Universe right
Universe
after?
was where it was like the crazy like classes, like all the women's classes were
Yeah,
like
then it was
murder.
Junior. That was Universe right after, and dude, everybody at that show was just like lights out.
Yeah,
Isn't there
Peel.
one in Chicago though? Is that North Americans?
North Americans is in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's a national show in
I
Chicago.
thought there used to be one in Chicago.
I think the USA's used to be in Chicago.
It's in Vegas though.
Vegas now, yeah.
Okay. Man, maybe that was. I don't know when that would have been, but yeah. I mean, next year, like, I mean, I'm on track for 41 weeks out right now, which, like, dude, that shit will go by fast. Like, or at least I'll be at 20 weeks out in no time.
I was just
You
gonna
know?
say that it'll be 20 weeks before you know it.
Yeah, it'll be 20 weeks out. So, like, you gotta, um, I mean, that's not a ton of time to like. I've been growing. It's been like 8 weeks post show right now, but like, um, I still need like another. I almost feel like I need a good 30 weeks of off season to like really pack on another like 5 or 10 pounds.
Yeah. Well, you could do like another 20 weeks
Uh huh.
and then do like a 4 to 6 week cruise, and then you'd have 16 weeks of contest prep.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
So that time wise would work out really well for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if like, I mean, just get that one in, wherever I place it. I don't know, dude. I want to be ready though. Like, I'm not really in a rush just based off the qualification because like, I mean, I qualified at that show and like I can go and requalify.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if I'm pro ready, like I'll be able to go into an amateur show and requalify, no problem.
Even at like 4 weeks out, you'll be able to
Hmm.
do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll keep that on the sites, but like I just looked at like the countdown for it today. I'm like 41 weeks. Like wow, like when I
That's
break that
cool,
up,
dude.
it's 20 and 20. Like it's not a ton of time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but and then it's also that's like that early in the year spot. It's like I know it. Yeah, it'll be competitive because it's a national show, but like you know, I also want to do some like dude. Like I've seen some good shows like that. Ty Pope show is pretty good here.
It's always
Uh,
good, dude.
yeah, that show was great. I think the Ultimate Muscle coming up in like September or August or whenever it is. I think it's in like Lakeland or something.
I really wanted to do that show last year.
Yeah, I think that's a good show.
The prizes are like wild.
Are they?
Not that that means anything, but like you get like a crazy ring, you get like a big sword, a
Oh,
huge
sweet.
statue, like a watch. Like there's a lot of
Nice.
shit you get if you win that show.
Yeah. Yeah, that one seems cool. I mean, there's some good shows in Florida. I feel like early in the year it's kind of like they're getting things going, and then but like mid year, like there's been enough promotion. People have seen people compete. They're like, I want to compete. I want to go and do that show. How many weeks
Yeah,
out is that? Oh, that's 12 weeks out. Let's get you ready. Like, like, all
yeah.
right, you're 12 weeks out. Like, are you
Like
14 weeks out?
mid-year, you have the Clash, you got the Ty Pope, you got the
Yeah.
Florida State.
Florida State that's right after the Tampa Pro. Like, that's a pretty
Yeah,
good show too. I remember seeing it last year and thinking it was pretty good. There was a few good classic competitors in it. I think there's some good bodybuilders in it too.
but like a couple years ago, like 2021, I remember I was looking at NPC News Online, like every show,
Hmm.
and a lot of times the overall winners were not anything to really look at because there just wasn't enough people in the show. But like now, you look at the NPC News Online, all these shows, the overall winners
Like
look like
20. Oh yeah, they
they
really
look
stand out.
good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, from what I've seen is like Universe has like 20, 30 people in each class. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like I want to step into a class that has like 15 at an amateur show and like,
yeah,
come out on top of that.
yeah.
Like versus like, okay, well, I won my class with two guys in it and then I beat, three other guys. Like, that's
Yeah,
nice, but like, I showed up my best that day.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Part of me is also like, I feel like with uh like I mean I have some gyno, but it's not like it's like it doesn't give
I've
me any
never
issues.
noticed any on you.
Yeah, it never flares up or anything like that. And it's not really like a huge issue. But I think like when like I feel like it would be nice to get the surgery to where like I don't have to ever worry about it again.
Yeah.
I have a buddy though who just went in for a revision and they fucking destroyed his chest, dude.
Really?
Dude, he has like a huge scar like right under his nipple. It's like it
Oh,
looks pretty
yeah.
obvious that he had surgery. Not that like that matters. Like, you know, you might have had a fucking pacemaker put in. Like they don't know
Yeah.
what the scar is, you know, from. And I don't know if it really takes away from, you know, what you look like, get a tattoo there or something, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I would like to find like a good doctor to be able to do it and just do it fucking
Plastic
right.
surgeons are the ones that supposedly can do it like with minimal. You can't even
Yeah.
tell. You know.
Hmm. And like the way he's paying for it is like it's like $5,000 over like
Oh,
a 24-month period. So you break up 5,000 by 24. It's like $300 a month, which actually isn't too terrible. Like
yeah.
it's pretty. I would say it's pretty. If you spend 5,000 divided by 24 months, interest free, that's $208 a month. That's actually not that bad,
Yeah.
And if that's without interest, for free 20, or maybe it's like a small interest rate, but depending on what type of payment plan they have. So that also might be in the cards, but I'd rather just fucking keep growing,
Yeah.
not take the because that sounds like a lot of time off. I know James Hollingshead just got his done.
Based on like just the pictures I've seen of you, you don't have to. I wouldn't suggest doing it right now.
Yeah,
I don't think it would hinder you even like a tiny bit.
yeah, yeah. And like for the most part, I can like knock it pretty much virtually out, with like letrozole at the end and raloxifene or Nolvadex or something like that.
Yeah, like I mean, this is right now in the off season post show where it would conceivably be at its worst, and it's still like I said, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't even. There's no flare up or anything right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what sets it up. I mean, I know like Deca and stuff will, but like I dropped out the Deca.
yeah,
I honestly think that's like the culprit for causing the gyno in the first place is running Deca.
mm-hmm.
But I also made so many gains. I felt like when I first took it that it was
It's
like,
tough. It's a double-edged sword.
yeah, it's one of those. Like when I'm on trend, I also think I don't have to run the trend that high, so like I won't have as much progestinic, activity going on into a show, like with the trend being like around like 200, versus
Yeah,
350. Because we just jumped in right at 350. Do you
yeah,
taper up
that's a lot
dosages
off
or
the
do you
bat.
jump right into your dose?
Contest prep, I taper up, which is kind of odd, and then off season, I just go right at the dose.
Mm-hmm.
So like contest prep, I would start trend like 50 milligrams every other day. Then I would go
Mm-hmm.
to 75 milligrams and then finish at 100 milligrams.
Every other day.
Yeah, same thing with Masteron. I would start at like 50, then it goes 75, then 100.
Okay, so you're at like 175 to like 350, and
Yeah.
then you're on the trend. Yeah,
The
yeah,
Masteron I pushed at one point to 100 milligrams every day, but trend was still every other day.
yeah. I want to see what I can get away with. I wonder how much trend Samson's running. Not
I,
that like I'm gonna take the amount of trend
yeah,
that Samson's running and look like Samson, but
I
like
know Mila said the
I
Arnold
don't know if
Classic
you
was the
heard
first
that
time
he
he
was
used it.
yeah, it was the first time he used it. Like that he
Yeah.
was not wanting to use the trend.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would probably, I don't know.
Maybe 150.
Yeah, it could be.
Or
Like
maybe
Monday,
he's on
Wednesday,
I
Friday.
don't think he's on 700. The thing is like I think there are a lot of amateurs that push the shit out of drugs.
100%.
Like Tren, and like they think like Tren is the fucking like gold mine, like,
Yeah.
and like yeah, you're gonna feel Tren and it's gonna like work, but like dude, I feel fucking toxic on Tren. Like I don't know if at the end I'll get acid, like acid
I
reflux.
get the same. Yeah.
Do you get that at the end?
Yeah, I do.
Is it from the orals or is it from the Tren? Or
I
just being
think
on
the
low
trend.
food and your body's like, fucking feed me. I have all this stomach acid I want to
If I
burn.
had to guess, I would think trend because I run the trend before I put in orals and I can start to
Mm-hmm.
feel it.
Yeah.
But
Dude, that's one thing that fucking pisses me off when I'm like so close. I remember like carrying up my bags to the hotel room. And like that was like kind of like tough. And You know,
Yeah.
it's like one more thing to fucking lift. And then I'm like burping up, like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
Ugh.
and I'm like waiting for my coach to text me, like, all right, what's the next meal? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the food is the only thing that like makes it okay. Oh fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna try and go like no more than like 210 milligrams of tren, which would be
Yeah.
like 30 milligrams a day.
I think that would be good. I think even dosing it like that would be good.
Yeah, just keep it steady at 30
Yeah.
milligrams. Yeah.
You can even do like a little insulin pin, like 30 units on an insulin pin.
I mean, that's pretty much what I do. Like that's what but I'll be taking other things too. Like, I'll have my test and master on and things like that. So I just like I have like a regular 3 ml needle, but I bought these like 5/8 inch tips. I have 1 inch tips too. Like if I ever just need to pin glutes or whatever, I'll just pin glutes. But like I haven't pinned I didn't pin my shoulders all this whole entire last prep.
Yeah.
Because I did I did one time and it went like fucking like the shoulder just like jolted. I was like,
Oh, you tell me that.
dude. Yeah, and actually this shoulder, sometimes when I'm just sitting here, like if I'm just sitting like this, like my shoulder will just like start like just twitching on its own.
Yeah, I get that in different body parts.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe I struck a nerve. There was a shot that I did on my prep in 2021 where like I did it and I was like, I think I might have hit something in there, but I injected it and then like fucking blood started gushing out after it. I was like,
Oh,
shit.
have you ever done it in the shoulder where you pull the needle out and it shoots and like the blood hits the mirror?
No, it never shot out like popping
Oh
a
my God,
pimple
I've
or
had
anything like that.
maybe I don't know, my lifetime, maybe 10 shots like that, where I
Yeah.
pull the needle out of my shoulder and literally the blood squirts out and hits the mirror and it's just
Yeah.
gushing. So you're thinking, did I just lose everything I just injected? Did it just?
Yeah, I don't know about that, I wonder that because if I ever bleed from a shot, I wonder if I'm losing gear in that blood.
I don't think so.
I think
think
you're
it's
deep enough in there that it's like
Yeah.
the gear is already kind of dispersed and it's
Yeah.
just blood that comes up out underneath of wherever you might have struck something.
I haven't pinned my shoulders in over a year.
What do you pin?
Glutes, quads.
You do
or
pin your quads? I used to pin my quads.
I do, yeah. I haven't had a ton of issues pinning quads, really. They
No
usually go
issues?
pretty smooth. I've had 2 bad shots where it swollen up, the whole quad looked like it had a film of water over it and was just super sore, but I only had 2 like that.
I had a shot last week that I pinned my outer, well, the side of my glute, and I pinned the primo in there, and it was 2 or 3 days to where it was knotted up, and I'm like, am I getting an infection? And I went and foam rolled it, and then by later that afternoon, it was okay, I don't really feel it anymore. So sometimes you can get an infection, but your body hasn't enough or an immune system to fight that off, or you're getting I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty much if you have have you ever had an infection from a shot?
No, thank God.
Yeah, I've had one. I've had it one time. I pinned my chest, backloaded an insulin needle because I thought just backload it and make it easy, right? But you can through a 29 gauge, you can pull the oil if it's thin enough, and if you warm the vial up, the oil will flow through it. But I just didn't know that you can do that, and I backloaded it, pinned this pec, it was fine, pinned this pec, shot went fine. A couple days go by, this one's a little sore, this one's sore too, but not nearly as this one feels like it has a fucking pump. And I'm like, okay, maybe this will weigh. And then a day or another day goes by and it's kind of hot. And I'm like,
oh shit.
I don't know if it was my idea to go to the urgent care or the girl I was dating. It's time to go to the urgent care, but I went to the urgent care. They said, yeah, you have cellulitis.
Oh shit.
Yeah, if you Then they just gave me some antibiotics and took care of it.
Did
But
they ask what you were doing?
I don't know. I think I told them.
Really?
I think I told them I took a shot in my chest.
Just a B12 shot.
Dude, I took a fucking I was pinning my GH. I was trying to like pin it locally. And my fucking pec spasmed. Like I like hit something in my pec and it went like fuck. Like anytime that happens, it's like getting a fucking like eating fish and getting a bone in your mouth. It's just like you don't expect it to happen.
No.
It should go really fucking easy.
I really don't have trouble pinning anywhere, but I've done like chest. Like I was doing some IGF-1, the LR3.
Yeah.
Like recently, and I was doing chest, and just even the insulin needle, it's like a half-inch insulin needle. Just something about doing the chest kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable place.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
If I had to get shot somewhere, like I wouldn't want to get shot in the chest. Like if you caught me in the shoulder, okay, that would suck.
Yeah.
If you caught me like in the hip, or like my glute, be fine. Like the glute would be fine. Like that's okay. Like I wouldn't want to get shot anywhere, but like getting shot in the chest would suck. Like you're probably gonna die.
It's such a big muscle too. It's weird that it's so like.
Well, it crosses like in different spots. Like some fibers run straight across.
Maybe that's why it's kind of weird.
Here.
Yeah.
Some run, more like down, but they all tie in at a certain, point. So, like when I would pin quads, dude, that was one of the easiest shots I ever did. I would just like go to like the middle of my like maybe a third down on my leg. Go to the outside and like kind of pin the sweep.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
In the top or the sweep?
I do like if I'm looking at my hip, I do it maybe 6 inches down and then into the sweep.
6 inches down. Yeah, about right there.
Yeah. So like almost the top of my quad.
There, it's like you're not on any end of the nerve. You're in the middle of the meat.
Yeah.
So yeah, those shots, like the needle would go in. I would use like an inch needle in there, and it would just
it goes in like butter too. You don't even feel it.
You don't even feel it. It's weird. I feel like there's so much muscle in there, and your quads are used to taking so much of a beating that they're just like,
Yeah.
Like and lats were like that for me too. But then I like tried to pin my lats again, and like I even did like the HGH in my lat, and it fucking spasmed. And I was like, all right, fuck that. Like.
I was doing lats like coming off my show. I was doing exclusively lats for like the first 8 weeks. And I noticed
how do you do it? You just get over the counter and just go like
so I kind of like lean one side over like this and then come in. But like I was getting really good results, like just from like site injecting the lats. And then like Justin did a video of why like all these guys are kind of like losing their lower
nerve damage or
from shots. So I was like, fuck, I gotta stop doing this.
Yeah.
So then I stopped pinning the lats.
It's interesting to look at an amateur show, like especially if they have the video in 4K. Like look at their glutes and how much like scar tissue is built up. Like especially on some of the masters guys, like some of their glutes are like dude, like this guy there was a guy at Ty Pope. He must have been using like a 20 gauge like in his glutes because
shit,
his were shredded up like.
There's a guy in the USA's. He's in the super heavy. He's either going to finish. I think he's going to finish second to Joe, but his name's Eric something. But in his left glute is like a softball, like where he had a bad shot. Like it's one of the craziest like knots you'll see on a guy on stage.
If you look at someone's delt and they have like a pyramid sticking out of their delt, sometimes you won't see it just flush. But if they move their arm, like you'll see like where they've pinned over and over and over again.
You can see it like when they get their front relaxed.
Yeah.
Like you can see it on their delt,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been pinning sub Q. I pinned sub Q that entire prep pretty much, or like shallow intramuscular. And I mean, everything worked the way I, expected it to work. And now like every once in a while, like I'll show you here, like I did, I don't know how good you can see this, but like, it's like, it's like you kind of see how this is red up here. Yeah, so like what I'll do is I'll grab like a pinch of the fat, which this one right now, since there's like whatever oil in it, or like still like being absorbed, it's not as easy to pinch as like say like right here.
Oh
You
yeah.
just
Yeah. Okay.
poke there and it goes pretty smooth. It's really easy. And then I'll just pin like the like glutes like the way I would regularly pin glutes, like, you know, but just with a 5/8 inch or a half inch. And then the outer, like, your hip, like the
Yeah.
ventral glute, you can pin there too. It's really easy.
When you
I
do like
never,
your insulin, where do you put it?
um, dude, I'll either just put it like in the side of my like belly here.
That's where I do it too.
I'll even I saw Tony Huge pin his kneecap before
Oh shit.
with melanotan. So
That's
like
funny.
sometimes I'll grab the pinch of fat on my kneecap and actually just
Yeah.
put it right in there.
I've done like the BPC 157 in my kneecap before, but never like
Uh-huh.
anything else. That's a good idea though, because you got quite a bit of skin that you can kind of grab there.
Yeah, it's like elbow skin. Like if you ever like have like elbow issues, like you can't pin your elbow, right?
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna grab this skin? So what you do is you take a chip clip, you fucking you take the chip clip and you pinch the skin with a chip clip like
Uh-huh.
that, and then you'll probably be able to poke a needle in there.
Yeah, I had elbow issues like a few months ago, and I like my girlfriend really doesn't like needles, but I was like, you just got to put it like right in here, and it went horribly wrong, and then I had to try and like do it myself. But I
That's
didn't even
funny.
think about that clip, dude. That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever pinned your tricep?
Yeah, I pin arms like fairly regularly, and it always goes
Bicep?
well. Yeah,
Yeah, fuck, dude. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm a little bitch sometimes when it comes to like, because I'm anticipating in my head that the muscle's gonna like jerk and spasm.
yeah.
That maybe I'm causing myself to do that or like to tense up, and in the minute it feels something, it's like hyper alerted to that, you know.
I think
But I
like,
mean, some people just go like this, or just like boop, like,
oh no, I don't do that. I go
I never
super
do
slow.
that. And some people say like yeah, it's like the easiest way, just pop right in, like.
But I feel like pinning my arms has had like a major impact on like improving arm growth for me.
Yeah, with regular like just gear.
Here, yeah,
Uh-huh.
especially before an arm day. Like
Yeah.
let's say you're pinning like you have 2 cc's worth of gear. Like I
Uh-huh.
would do a cc like in each bicep like before
Mhm.
arm day, and the pump is crazy. And I feel like
Yeah.
it does have like a localized. I don't know if it's growth or scar tissue, but there is a definitely like volumizing effect.
Well, I mean, your body has to bring blood now into that muscle to get that gear, that depot out of
Mhm.
the. I mean, so maybe maybe there is actually something behind the site injecting. Not that like, well, you're taking testosterone in this area that now these
Yeah,
receptors are working. No, but you're bringing blood flow into an area, and if you're bringing more blood into an area, like it's going to get more recovery, and over time, like you're going to see localized growth from that.
and like one of the first things you notice on a lot of guys once they start gear is like the
Uh-huh.
shoulders are bigger. I think like a lot of that probably has to do with most guys are pinning their shoulders. You
Yeah,
know,
it could be. Yeah. Well, one thing I know about that is that you have a lot of androgen receptors around the shoulders.
I've heard that in
Sometimes
traps
if you
too,
look
right?
at natural guys, like they don't have the cap shoulders, but like they're very
Yeah,
developed. So I don't know, maybe that could
that's
be.
interesting too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hmm. European traps?
No, that would
I
that
don't
would
know
freak
about
me
that,
out.
man. I feel like it would be like I feel like it might feel good.
I think like if somebody else was doing it to me, I think it would probably go well. But like doing it myself, I don't know if I could do that.
I swear someone's fucking upstairs, bro.
Oh,
There
you
was
have
some
somebody over
rocking
top of you?
going on back and forth up there.
What floor are you on?
I'm on the second.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless they're just like fucking just saying shut up down there, like to me.
Maybe.
uh yeah, man. I don't know, I've heard people pinning their traps, but like
Have you seen John Anderson?
no, who's that?
He's a bodybuilder. He won his pro card at like the university maybe like 5, 6 years ago. He's like
Uh-huh.
definitely sight enhancing his traps. Like his traps are like stupid looking.
What's his name?
John Anderson, Jon Anderson. Look at this guy's traps. He was a strongman competitor.
Oh,
and then he
that
trained-
guy. Yeah, the guy makes the recipes and stuff on.
Yeah,
You think so?
I think so. If you look at some of his like contest
In this
pictures,
picture, if this is here, I'll share the screen here. Present.
like I don't think he's
share
doing it
screen.
now, but
Dude,
I
I
think
don't
he
know if you
was.
hear that. But someone is fucking banging upstairs. All right, let's see.
Yeah,
So yeah, this guy,
yeah. Find like
this
one of his
photo
contest
here,
pictures.
dude. Like, yeah, like okay, let's. Oh, what the fuck? Is this his contest
Yeah,
photo?
like that. Look at those traps, dude.
This guy's got a pretty good physique, actually. Like,
Oh yeah,
let's see this
he's a
one.
freak
Hang
for
on.
sure.
What the fuck?
But yeah, the traps and some of those like contest pictures were like insane. Now, I mean, he
he's a
might have
strong
just
man
been.
too, though, is he?
He was,
Dude,
yeah.
that's ridiculous, right there.
I mean, I suppose he could just be shooting regular gear in his traps.
Yeah. No, look at this. What the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah, that's wild. His neck looks super small there too, but his traps are like. Now they don't look bad there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, if he's a strong man too, and he's like pulling weights off the floor and stuff a lot, but these look like
Suspicious.
there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Like this looks
Like look at that
there's
bottom one from the
something else
back.
going on
Look at the
here.
one right, but like at the very bottom, like the back shot.
This,
Yeah.
bro, yeah, those have to be filled up with fucking oil. Bodybuilder has fake traps. That's the title
Yeah.
of the video. Yeah, dude, there's some oil in there or something.
I mean, he's a good. I mean, he looks good, like, but he just pushed it a little too far.
I think I saw him at his Dell Keon. No, maybe it's not him. But you'll notice it like right in the medial head, like.
I think I do remember his last show where there was some controversy about that, or maybe it was at the Olympia.
Maybe not. I mean, dude, his transformation is fucking crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly he was natural there when he was competing in Classic.
Holy shit, dude!
Supposedly, I mean,
Crazy, dude. Like I don't. It is crazy. This kid on Instagram, I saw someone called him out for being not natural the other day. But dude, like I don't see like the thing is, it very much can be. He very much can be natural, but he very much might not be. But like I don't see any like gyno. Like I don't see any like puffy nipple. Like but dude, like this kid is ridiculous.
Do you know how old he is?
Yeah, I don't know how old he is actually. I don't know, but he competed at the same show that my buddy competed at last year.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's kind of wild.
I don't know.
See, in this video,
he does crazy high volume too, dude.
Like now, when he's doing those the kettlebell push-ups, like he looks like a guy I could believe was natural, but like those physique shots kind of look.
Yeah,
I mean, it could just be he has like really good muscle.
Like, the thing is, like, the other thing is like, okay, you don't get arms like that being natural, but it's like some people just have genetic, like fucking, like if we look at here, let me share this other video or photo here. Phil Heath.
Oh, when he was playing basketball.
Yeah, like bro, like he look at like he had like cap delts playing basketball, like natural college athlete, like tested, like you know,
probably was lifting like 2 times a week.
Like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
like, this is a physique right here, like that people work years. Look at his calves.
Yeah, he could compete. I mean, he could take off his jersey and
Go
compete.
do men's physique right there. I just played a lot of basketball, getting ready for this show. Like, that's fucking insane.
Probably eating like Taco Bell, like eating at the cafeteria at the college, like just whatever he wanted.
Yeah. So like that's the thing. Like some people just like have genetics like that. I don't know like any I don't know any like off the top of my head other than like Doug Miller.
Drug
you know
Miller.
Who Doug Miller is?
Yeah, Drug Miller.
Drug Miller. I don't know anybody like any white dudes that have like okay, maybe this guy, but this guy's been training forever. He doesn't have he doesn't I don't even know what he is. But he's he's been training for years.
What's his name?
Alberto Nunez, like
oh shit, okay, yeah.
Oh, Mike O'Hearn.
Yeah.
That's the only other person I can think of.
Yeah. Do you remember Matt Ogus back in the day?
Yeah.
He had a good physique. Now, do you think he was actually natural?
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Dude, some people have genetics. Like, oh yeah, let me show you this photo. This is my buddy Blaze, actually. So let me see if I can find his page real quick. Man, where would this photo be?
The prominent, like, white natural bodybuilders usually are kind of on the flat side. Like, you remember Lane Norton back in the day?
Yeah.
Like, Doug Miller, if he is natural, is like an anomaly. Like, he has that kind of that full bubbly muscle that really, a lot of white natural guys don't have. Even white guys that are enhanced, a lot of them don't have that kind of round, bubbly muscle.
Who are you saying?
Lane just Norton? Examples of kind of white guys that are natural or thought to be natural. They kind of have a more flat look to them.
Yeah. Like, Alberto Nunez, he's very shredded.
Yeah.
But doesn't have that, like, round 3D pop,
Same thing with Lane Norton.
But it's another thing, like we were talking about, like the thin skin, like which is kind of that flatter look versus if you have a rounder, bubbly kind of skin texture. Like if you took Phil Heath's skin and put it on Alberto Nunez, like it would look 3D, being natural, and then Phil Heath was able to get that graininess through years and years of training and probably also genetics too, but then also the gear, and getting into that level of conditioning that he would get into. Man, where would this video be? This was a good video. If I can find it. See if I can fast forward through here. Yeah, this is the dude who put me on to fitness. I can't find his page. I don't know where the fuck. Like he had this like just fit page, but he looked like he was on like fucking Trent and Winstrol. And
when he was natural,
he was like 17. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anything. Like had that like thinner like vascularity like shooting out his shoulders and shit. Like chest always like pumped. It kind of looked like abs, And he doesn't really lift like that much anymore. He like does DJing and stuff like that now. But like if you were to get back in the gym for like 2 months, he'd respond. He's just like there's like hyper responders out there. I feel like
100%.
That whether or not they are taking gear, natural, like if they're taking gear, they're going to hyper respond. If they're natural, they're going to.
There are guys like that them training natural, like there are certain guys that are enhanced that would never reach those levels. Like they're just genetic outliers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's just the thing, man. That's just the ends of the spectrum. It's just like the
yeah,
extremes. I mean, there's extremes of people that just like won't ever even look like anything even average just because,
yeah,
they don't have, well, if they had like, you know, some, you know, like steroids, they can get to looking pretty average, or
mhm.
pretty okay, then that's about it, you know,
You know,
and then
there's like
there's like,
there's different ends of the spectrum, like in all genetics. Like, look at height. Like, you have
mhm,
people that are 7 foot and people that are 3 feet. There's that same bell curve, like in
mhm,
all aspects of genetics, like building muscle, ability to get lean. So you
yeah,
have those people that are just, even at their best on endless amounts of gear, they're going to get just a little bit ahead.
mhm,
Where someone else is natural could be miles ahead of them. Like, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting, man. Let's cover this last topic here. Let's cover whey versus food.
Okay,
So you have a food list, right? Is
I
whey
do.
on that food list that you can have?
I don't think it is. Trying to think. It's a good question.
Is whey food?
Oh, okay. So it is on there. It's like he has like there's different categories. So like unlimited amounts, sparingly, rarely, and then like never. So I think whey
Mhm.
protein is on the rarely. So that's like one time a day you can use it if necessary. And really the only time I use like a protein powder is either if I'm so full I can't, eat regular food, or I just find myself like convenience, like I have to go somewhere or I have to be somewhere and I can't have a meal. I'll have like protein.
Yeah.
Um, that's the only time I'll use it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna rely on it less. Like I have been already relying on it less this off season. I do like whey. Like I like drinking an easy shake
Hmm.
versus eating food. But like I think I'll limit it to like once a day, and like I may even try to just pull it out completely and replacing it with food just to see like maybe my digestion will do even better with an actual food protein source. Like maybe something light like egg whites or fish or something like that. Um Now like kind of what's the reason, or at least what's like Justin's reason behind like, you know, like I mean there's studies proving that whey protein does build muscle. It is, it is
100%.
a protein, it's amino acids. Now like what's the difference now between like whey and say chicken breast
So like the
or
way
egg
he explains it, like he goes by that steak metaphor, like we were talking about earlier.
white?
Like you can eat a piece of steak now and you can get sick tomorrow morning and you'd throw up like little bits of steak. So those amino
Hmm.
acids are like slowly digesting. So you have
Hmm.
like a constant flow of amino acids over like an extended period of time. Where whey
Hmm.
like hits your system, it's in and out in an hour, and then your body's without those amino acids. So like if you ate steak like before you went to bed, you'd be having like a slow like trickle of amino acids through the entire night where you have the ability to build muscle. Where if you have a weight shake, it's going to hit your digestive system, be out in an hour, and then you have 8 hours where there's absolutely like nothing in your system. Like,
Right, but there's always something in your system because you are
sure,
eating other meats
sure,
and proteins throughout the day. But like, say, like a majority of your protein came from, like, say, five of your meals came from whey, and one of your, like Hunter Labrada. Well, he was someone that had like whey shakes,
yeah,
like, and he it worked for him for an extent. I watched this like Nick Walker video, and he's like now that Hunter like actually like stop having his like little protein shakes and like started
yeah.
having like actual food now. Like, yeah, now he's made some improvements, like, and um yeah, like the thing is like it takes your body time to build muscle. Like,
Yes.
it's not like a carb like replenishing the muscle, like, getting you want carbs to get to your muscle quick. But with protein, like your body has to build it, so it has to like assemble the amino acid chains. Muscle protein synthesis is like a pulsated thing that happens, 4, 5, 6 times a day throughout the body.
Yeah.
So your body will say 4, 5, or 6 times a day, you know, um, initiate muscle protein synthesis to where like amino acids are getting in sequence to go inside of a muscle cell to, construct the muscle cell. So if you, I kind of think of whey as like I like whey protein, like I do, like I think that there's some value in it, but like
I
I
agree.
almost think of it as like the guy who comes in is like like it has to be like almost like perfectly timed, like
Yeah.
are those amino acids still going to be floating around the blood, or are they like what happens to them?
I mean, I personally think it's longer than an hour.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's as long as something like chicken or steak.
Yeah.
I
So,
just
like, if you have a slower release of these amino acids, your body probably can manage them, better
Yeah.
and build
Now,
like
what
like
might
like
be an
yo, like
interesting
she just dumped
conversation.
off a fucking load of aminos that we can't even really use right now. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get to it when we can get to it, but we're building. This chicken aminos are coming in at a pretty good rate that we can actually
Yeah.
handle and build with.
What might be like a more kind of um, close discussion would be something like the MRE light, like from
Hmm.
Redcon, where it's like salmon protein,
Uh huh.
uh, beef protein, like things like that, like not whey based, but a
Right.
protein powder like that's more extended as far as like timing, even like casein, which is like slow digesting. I
Did
think
you
that
ever do
would.
casein protein powder?
I used to do those like always
That used to
before
be a
bed.
staple in everybody's meal plan. Like you have to
Yeah,
have
I
a
used to have those
casein
before
shake
bed.
before bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, Even so, like any protein powder in general, I feel like it might be oversimplifying, but like how many calories are you burning like digesting like a huge piece of steak versus just a shake of protein? Like I feel like your metabolism is going to be faster like digesting whole food versus just like shotgunning this liquid that doesn't have to do anything to break down.
Hmm.
I just feel like
Yeah,
you get
there's a
so much
thermic
more
effect
benefit.
of food, right? So
Yeah,
there's like your body has to burn calories in order to use the calories. So like that also could, yeah, like maybe whey shakes do put on weight because like if you were just to eat a piece of chicken, your body's gonna burn it,
yeah.
but
That
now you're
guy in
not burning
PNC was
them.
right.
Maybe they're right,
Yeah.
maybe that's what they're noticing, and yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think if you were, let's say you were to have one person was eating 500 grams of protein worth of chicken, only that,
Hmm.
and then another person was having 500 grams of whey protein. I bet you the person having the whey protein would probably burn less calories if you like looked at the thermic effect of both people.
That'd be a really good study to do that. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, even if it was like 200 or 300 grams
yeah,
over like a 3 month period, and like, but like then you'd almost have to have twins
yes,
because you
that's
have
true.
those genetic outliers and stuff. Or you'd have to take like two guys with like very similar backgrounds or like similar like genetic backgrounds or things like that, and see what happens.
But
And then
all that
maybe do
being said,
another 3 months, switch it. Then go, okay, you're
yeah,
gonna do whey this month. You're gonna do casing or chicken, and let's see what happens.
but
That
if
would be
like you're in
good.
a position where you're going to miss a meal or you could have whey protein, 100% go with the whey
Hmm.
protein. Like
Yeah,
it's definitely a tool that you can use.
yeah,
It might not be the
yeah,
best tool, but it's definitely beneficial.
yeah. There's another thing I just want to hit on just with that because, like, yeah, if you're gonna miss a meal, like, you have to be like flexible. Like, you're like, oh well, I don't have chicken. I'm just not eating anything. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that. You have to eat
yeah,
something. Like doesn't mean eat a burger and fries, but like what's another lean protein? Like that's why it's probably good that you have a food list.
yeah,
But for like anybody who ever works with me, I'll give you a food list too. But um, with your coach right now or whoever you work with, or if you're not working with a coach, like you know, learn what your lean proteins are. It's gonna be your whey protein, your chicken, your white fish, your 99 turkey breast, ground turkey breast, your egg whites. That's pretty
yeah.
much it. Maybe your 96.4 beef, or like if you could get skinny beef, you're gonna get a little bit of fat content from that though. Now, like your fattier meats would be, and possibly even no, your fattier meats would be more like your salmon, your 93.7 beef, your 90.10 beef, your steak, um,
Eggs.
your whole eggs, uh, possibly like cottage cheese if there's some fat in the cottage cheese, but
Yeah.
it's about it. Fattier fish, like you said, like salmon.
if you know those like protein sources, you could be anywhere, go into any restaurant, any grocery store, any gas station, and you could, get your protein in, whether it's hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurt. You go to a fast food place, order a couple of grilled chicken sandwiches. Like, you can get your food anywhere that you're at if you really understand the different protein sources.
Yeah. You just got to be versatile. Like, I mean, it's like one thing, like being like 2 weeks out. I wouldn't suggest you to be 2 weeks out and not have things figured out. Like, you should have every single meal like figured out by that point, or even like a month or 6 weeks out. But like, if you ever do get to that point, whether in the off season or you are in prep, yeah, man, you have to be able to work around those things. And sometimes if it's a whey protein shake, it's better than nothing. And then figure out if you need carbs, if you need fats. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. But I definitely think they're a useful tool. Just I wouldn't rely on them if I had the choice.
Yeah. Yeah, someone showed me Hunter Labrada's diet. It was like Rice Krispies and like whey like a few times a day. Like yeah. I mean, he is one physique that like you look at him online, you're like, really bodybuilder, like, I guess. But then you see him on stage, you're like, oh fuck, like he's big as shit. Like,
yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, like he stands next to like when he was in the top 5 with Rami, Nick, and Ian and Hadi the other year. Dude, yeah, they were all like, what? It was all like, what the fuck?
His like size and structure doesn't translate in pictures when he's standing by himself.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing to like contrast him with to understand like how big he actually is. But yeah, this Olympia is going to be interesting, man. Did you get? Have you looked at the tickets or gotten a ticket?
Yeah, I was actually looking. My buddies. Another one of my buddies is going. He just ordered his tickets. I need to get mine.
Yeah, maybe this upcoming week I'll order one. I think they're like what 300.
I think so. Yeah,
but that's the thing. I want to see the show. I also want to go to the expo though. Like, it's a fun weekend.
The expo I'm almost looking forward to more than the show. As weird as that sounds.
The expo?
Yeah.
Yeah, the expo is fun. Do you know if First Attachment's going to have a booth there?
I think they are. They've talked about it before.
Dude.
Like one of the sponsored athletes, Danny LaMartina, just won a pro show, so she'll be competing in the Olympia. So I think they'll probably go down for her too.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah. Yeah, man. Have you ever been to Olympia weekend?
Never. I wanted to go the last time it was here, but I just didn't have
the Arnold.
No, I've never been to a pro show.
I've never been to the Arnold, but I've been to the Olympia twice in Vegas.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
I didn't see the show, but I went to the expo twice in Vegas, and then I went to I saw the show in Orlando, and the expo's dope, dude. It's so fucking big. Like you see people, like it's so interesting when you see people that you've seen them online. And then like the same thing with Hunter, like they look either bigger in person or you're like, what the fuck? Like this person does not look like anything like this person online. Like, it's interesting.
I'm looking forward to it, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because like bodybuilding, there's just so many fucking freaks. Like, so it's like so much people watching. It's just and there's like a ton of free shit they give away, and it's like it's cool to see like people you actually do want to see, and yeah. Are you gonna go check out the Tampa Pro next weekend?
I've been considering it. Yeah, because another one of my buddies is competing in Pro Physique there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think I might go down there for that.
Okay, cool.
Plus the Hunter Labrada, Carlos Thomas, Andrew Jacked is going to be insane in that lineup.
Are they competing in Tampa too?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's going to be like wild.
Yeah. Well, then they got Texas like a week or two after that. I think it's 2 weeks after. I knew they were doing that one. All right, bro. Well, yeah, dude. That's it, guys. Some good stuff in there. Let me know let me know about the whey versus food. What you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite off-season cycle in the comments below as well. What you also take for intra workout. Any comments or likes or shares, we appreciate. once again, this is not this is educational and entertainment purposes only. This is not advice or medical advice in any way, shape, or form. So leave that disclaimer there. That's all I got, Jimmy. What about you, bro?
No, that's it, man. Looking forward to Tampa next year, and then not next year, next week, and then to see the result of the USA's. I don't know if we'll see those tonight or maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be up by now, so we'll see.
Yeah, but another great show, dude.
Yeah, dude. All right, dog.
Good to see you, brother.
You too, bro.